Here we come. Here we go. All about the Barack Obama and Michelle Obama interview. I was trying to figure out why they had so much smoke because I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention too much to Barack Obama and Michelle Obama. You know, I let them live and breathe wherever they are, right? I let them live and breathe wherever they are because I'm not really sure what they do, how they do, how they behave, right? And it seems like he's always taking the task, according to them, taking men to task. And men don't like being told what to do. So we found that out through, I was thinking that we found the same thing out from Kevin Samuels. Men didn't want to hear whether you had to have improvement or not, even though men were sharpening iron with other men. Men don't want to hear people criticizing men. Oh yeah, it's the same thing. Obama didn't criticize like that, like Kevin Samuels. He didn't do that. Kevin Samuels was a whole nother level, and they still didn't want to hear it. So I tried to figure out what was the smoke, right? I tried to figure it out. So I said to myself, okay. I said, okay, so let me review this. Let me review what he said, okay? Or let me review this interview. And I said, okay, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, they represent a powerful shift in America's identity, right? One that not everybody was ready to accept. As the first black president, first black lady, that presence alone challenged a lot of people. And we have to understand, it was people who was racist. We had people who was jealous, people who could never aspire to be. Okay, and they challenged that system, with white leadership and privilege, right? And many people, conscious or unconscious, were threatened by seeing a confident, educated, poised black couple at the highest level of power. Just is what even black people. There's people who criticize Obama today because they felt like Obama got in the White House, so Obama was supposed to do stuff for black men. Obama was supposed to do something for black people. And I get that. With Barack, his weird name, heritage, his calm intellectual style, approached and stood in stark contrast to what most people think of black American people, right? Michelle with her unapologetic black pride, natural hair, muscular frame. Men these days, even black men who got black babies, will call her a man or masculine. I'm ashamed sometimes. I swear to God, some people make me ashamed. And the hatred they received wasn't just about the policy, it was personal. Instead of revering what they did, what they accomplished, it was like attacks was from his birther conspiracies where the idiot president that we got right now started, to disrespectful caricatures of Michelle, coded language about Barack being gay. She's a man, so he gotta be gay. We ain't gonna have that kind of disrespect over here because I respect the game. I respect what they did. I respect where they got. Okay. And so every time I see them come in the news, it's like I don't even pay attention because it's not even worthy of it's not even worthy. Just let them people be over in that corner, right? But according to some people, this interview, he said something that I haven't heard because I don't know. I don't know what he said. But I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to hear what apparently he said that was so outrageous. I don't know. Now, if he said follow gay men, but depending on the context, I wouldn't find that controversial, because gay men who are smart and who are intelligent and who can lead the world and run the world. Why would that be out of the ordinary? I don't know. As long as they're not flamboyant and promoting the gayness, I don't care one way or the other. A gay person can be smart, rich, funny, all of that. So I would like to see what the controversy is in him saying you can follow gay people, because I would probably say the same thing, specifically if they're smart enough and they're making a movement or doing whatever. Now, if you said we can follow them into gay pride parade, it'd be a different story. So, Triple X.
There's so much gaslighting going on up here. I'm not even sure I want to take the bait today.
What do you mean? What gaslighting? What did I gaslight? What did I say?
That was wrong?
No, I'm asking you, what did I say that was wrong?
This is
what?
Let me ask you a question. Have you watched this interview yet?
No, I'm looking at it for the first time right now.
Okay.
Because I don't follow them, so I don't.
Okay. Okay. No. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna do something then. I'm gonna let you go ahead and watch the interview, then I'm gonna jump back in. Cause I don't even wanna. Cause hey, I could really go off, but I'm not. Cause you haven't seen it.
I want to see.
Right. So let's let the go ahead and play the interview.
Because it's only like an hour and 10 minutes, so it ain't that long.
You gonna be up here a little bit?
Yeah, I'm be up here for a little bit.
Okay, I'll bounce out and I'll let you go ahead and check it out. Then I'm gonna come back though. I'm gonna come back in like an hour.
Okay. All right.
All right. Yep.
I'm back. Okay. Without further ado, let's get into this interview with Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and the brother. Shall we?
This woman came up to me and she was so nice. She was like, "Can I have a picture?" Yeah. And then, so you know how you get the side hug, and she's like, "What did he do?"
And you knew she was going to say, "What he do?"
He. And I was like,
it wasn't like, "What happened to him?"
That is so
It was like,
terrible.
how'd he mess up?
And I said, "Well, what makes you think he messed up?" Why couldn't it be her?
Why did you just say no one messed up?
Well, because I wanted to keep this conversation going so that I could tell you about it.
Oh, Lord.
This episode is brought to you by Rivian and Chase Home Lending.
Hey, little girl.
Welcome to DC, my brother.
I am so happy to be here once again.
Yeah, it's good to have you in our town. How's it going? You had a little flight delay.
I had a little travel issue, but I'm not going to complain because we have been doing this for a little bit now.
I know it's always a little dicey when
somebody's got to travel,
yeah.
And I'm traveling in these streets like a regular person, so I got to be careful. But it's not it. So for those of you, it was a little bit of a weather delay.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't fly into DC.
Yeah.
Changed my behavior.
About the brother.
Wait.
I really don't care about the brother, so we can skip over him and get to the Barack Obama part.
You guys like each other?
Oh yeah, really? Huh?
That's so
the
nice,
rumor
man.
mill. It's my husband, y'all.
She took me back.
Now don't start.
I can't.
It was touch and go for a while.
It's so nice to have you both in the same room
I
together.
know.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
let me tell you. First of all, see, I'm in Wichita, Kansas for Austin's tournament.
Uh-huh.
And this podcast has made me quite popular.
You're big shot.
Famous.
And people come up to me all the time. This woman came up to me and she was so nice. She's like, "Can I have a picture?" Yeah. And then, so you know how you get the side hug? And she's like, "What did he do?"
And you knew she was going to say what he did.
And I was like,
it wasn't like, what happened to him?
That is so
It was like,
terrible.
how'd he mess up?
And I said, "Well, what makes you think he messed up? Why couldn't it have been
why
her?"
did you just say no one messed up?
Well, because I wanted to keep this conversation going so that I could tell you about it.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, what? And she's like, "He did something, didn't he?" I was like, don't worry, everything's fine. And let me tell you, she was so happy, you would have thought I gave her a Christmas gift.
These are the kinds of things that I just miss, right? So I don't even know this stuff's going on.
Right.
And then somebody will mention it to me and I'm all like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
See, that's the part that I don't believe. I believe, see, he's so internet savvy. He can't tell me that he didn't know that people were talking about him and Michelle not working out or him and Michelle breaking up. He can't tell me that. See, I know you all know for a fact that Bill and Hillary Clinton ain't been together for years, but they've been politically together. And that's what happens most times in these kind of relationships. They make a pact to stay together, keep it civil on the outside, and they decide that they're going to stay together. Now, maybe they are together, maybe they ain't. I don't know. Okay, someone said it's Barry and Big Mike. Now I can't unsee it. That is a full-blown female. That is not a man. That's a female. Mike is the brother. Okay, Mike is the brother. That's not Michelle. So they stay together because of political reasons, right? And a lot of people do. I don't know about what's his name? George Bush. I don't know about him and his wife. I don't know about the first George Bush. I don't know. I know that you can look at Trump and Melania and know they ain't together. You can look at what's it? You could look at who else? Clinton and Hillary and know they ain't together. You could tell when Biden and his wife were together because they were together. And you could tell from this couple that they're still together too. So, I mean, you really can tell sort of, because they ain't that good with hiding it. Some of them ain't that good with hiding it. And there's never been any real indication that they separated. It was a bunch of rumors and rumor mills and this, that, and the third. But, I take them at their word, say they're together. It is. But I don't believe him when he says, I didn't know nobody was talking about me. I didn't know nobody was saying anything about them not being together. Y'all stop falling into those internet. Stop falling into those internet things. Y'all need to get out and read more. Never has, and is a shot to masculinity and feeds in there that Obama was LGBT. Okay, we gonna see. Because we gonna see. So.
There hasn't been one moment in our marriage where I thought about quitting my man. And we've had some really hard times. So we have had a lot of fun times, a lot of adventures, and I have become a better person because of the man I'm married to.
Okay, don't make me cry now. Right at the beginning of the show.
Oh, that's sweet.
Don't let me start tearing up now.
And welcome to IMO.
Welcome to IMO. Get you all teared up. See, but this is why I can't talk. See, you can take the hard stuff, but when I start talking about the sweet stuff, you're like, stop! No, I can't do it.
I love it.
So,
I'm enjoying it.
But thank you, honey, for being on our show. Thanks for making the time. We got,
you guys are doing good.
Got a great.
So you've been listening.
Of course, I've been listening.
Yeah. What? Any tips? Any observations?
Craig can tighten up a little bit. You're doing great.
Thanks, honey.
Hey,
that's why we're married for.
I got you.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I get it. I get the internet. Y'all got to stay off the internet. This is our first Black American lady. She has done nothing to anyone. She has said nothing out of pocket. She has done nothing out of pocket. Please don't disrespect her. I respect her highly for the shit she has to put up with, and she has never done anything out of pocket. So please don't disrespect Michelle.
I thought so.
See, now that's what a brother-in-law is for, folks.
Absolutely.
Well, we've got a question today from a listener in San Francisco named Emma.
Come on.
Okay, I want to hear from Emma.
And let's hear from Emma so we can dive into this topic.
Hi, Michelle and Craig. I have 3 younger brothers and am a new mom to a 1-year-old little boy. What can we do to change the fact that we raise our girls and we love our boys? There is so much dialogue on raising strong, independent women, but how can we raise emotionally intelligent, competent men? I am deeply concerned by the ideology promoted to my younger brothers online. I want to raise a young man who sees through those ideas. How can we energize the discussion around raising young men that want to change these oppressive and even violent dynamics?
Now, before we dig in, you two have raised 2 wonderful daughters and have taught them numerous lessons. And I just want to hear from Barack how you approached raising your daughters, because
you all have to think about how, because she's a Black woman and she's a strong Black woman, you all have to think about how you respond to strong Black women. Just because she's a strong Black woman doesn't mean she emasculated Barack Obama. And this is a lot. I hear this a lot. She's strong. She did she that. No, most American women are like that. They're not emasculating anyone. We're just speaking that way. I am that particular way. She probably is a different way with her husband. She has to be here out front. And she has to appear confident because there are young Black girls, young white girls, young people looking at her, and she has to appear confident. She can't be subservient and submissive in public. She can't do that. That's not what she can do. She cannot do that. So y'all want her to be like, oh, Barack Obama, he's the man. She can't do that in public. She has to have an image of a strong Black woman. She has to have that image. She's not aggressive and she ain't disrespectful. I've never seen her disrespectful or aggressive at all. At all.
This was
y'all wilding.
obviously before you got to the White House.
Wilding.
So you were just like the rest of us, just a regular dad who's having kids and going to work and trying to make time. What was your strategy?
Well, first of all, the most important strategy, whether it was a boy or a girl, was having the right partner. And now that I'm not, that I say even behind her back.
Yeah.
Every one of my young male staff members.
What do you mean? Why do Black women have to be strong, independent Black women? Why does any woman have to be a strong woman? Whether she Black or white? White women do it all the time. Why is it that when you got a Black woman to do it, there's a problem? You said Black women, you said a strong, independent Black woman. Because they don't have husbands. And apparently these women these days don't want to have husbands. So they all have to be strong, independent women, regardless of whether they Black or they white. They all have to be strong and independent. I don't know, it just is the way the world works. It is what it is. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get to the gay thing.
When they talk to me about dating and relationships and what to look for, I say, look, the starting point is this person is going to raise your children alongside you. And so I'll be honest with you. Michelle being Malia and Sasha's mom, that made all the difference. And then I do think, for whatever reason, we had similar strategies in the sense that I think we both believed that you give unconditional love to kids, but you also give them structure. That you're always there for them and keeping them safe, but you're also saying as early as 2 or 3, no, you can't do that. No, you can't have that. We believed in explaining why, but we also believed in being firm. We had bedtimes and bath times, and you had to eat your vegetables even if you didn't like them.
Right.
And you couldn't act stupid in public.
Yeah.
And couldn't do it. Couldn't whine or throw tantrums. Yeah. And so we had, I think, a shared vision of how to, what your mom always used to talk about. You're raising adults.
Right.
And so you're starting off saying to them, here are consequences for your actions. Here's responsibilities that we think you can handle. Make mistakes and learn from them. Right? So we had that.
And let me just say, too, just so that people understand the kind of father Barack was from the beginning, is that he was an engaged father from the minute they were born. And he wasn't the kind of man that was like, I don't do this, I don't change diapers. I'll hand them to me when they talk, and I can, and I can relate. They make me feel comfortable. We, as when Malia was a baby, we shared 50-50.
Yeah. I took the night shift.
He took the night shift. Yeah. He's the night owl. And that helped me because I wasn't sleep deprived, because I would pump while I was breastfeeding, which wasn't for a long time. And I would go to bed at a reasonable bedtime, and I could hand my baby, and I will say because she was my baby, over to this guy. And know
stinky man.
And know that she would be alive in the morning.
Right.
And he relished that time. But I also had to let go, right? I had to say, you know what? Whatever is happening between 8 at night and 5 in the morning, I can't micromanage that relationship. They're going to be okay. She's a baby. He was the one who got her sleep trained, because I wouldn't have been able to handle letting my baby cry it out. Right. But over the course of a week, I think
3 days.
It was 3 days.
It wasn't even a week.
It wasn't even a long time. At 5 months. So once he did that, so we had kids who slept through the night from the time they were 5 months old. So because we shared that responsibility, and Barack owned a huge part of the girls as infants, it established a relationship between him and them that, carries through even today.
Can you pause it?
Yeah, I paused it. Black America came up. What did you have to say, Black America? Then, man.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hold on.
Let him go first. Let him go first, excuse me.
Okay, E. Go ahead. E.
I just want to know if y'all guys can hear me. He could go first.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead, Black America. Go ahead, Black America.
All right. HQ, now, with the strong woman thing, I think this is a problem with women, even you. You guys with this strong thing and being out front, I have a question. When you and your husband went to a party, if you guys did, because I know what kind of service he was in, and they had company parties, were you the center of attraction? Was it all eyes on you when you guys went to an event?
No, unless it was my event. unless it was my event.
So that's what I'm saying. Barack Obama, the former president of the most powerful country in the world, the whole world is his event. HQ. She just needs to be the beautiful. I think Michelle was sexy. Baby talking about she a man. I think she was sexy, back then. She just needs to be a showpiece. She doesn't need to be heard for anything. We
Wait a
don't
minute,
need to
hold
hear
on.
her.
She's her own
Hey,
individual
you are
person.
crazy.
She is her
Yeah,
own
that's crazy.
individual person. Okay. This
I,
is her show. This is her podcast. This is not Barack's podcast. This is her podcast. She's making her own her own thoughts, her own process of her place in the world. So no, it's not a matter of her standing down and saying, you Barack, you gotta come. It'd be a different story if it was her and Barack, but it's not her and Barack. It's her and her brother. So all
no,
her
it's
thoughts,
like this. It's
all
like this. Let me say. Let me say this.
Hold on. All her thoughts. These are her thoughts. This is her show. She can be I relate to her completely because she's a person that has to navigate her way, and she has been respectful from the minute she came on the stage. And people have looked at her and said, she can't be no strong black woman. That's what she is. She was that way before Barack married her, when he was married to her. So why are you all wanting her to change from being this companion that he is? They're mentally and intellectually equal in every way, except he was the president. So why is it that now she can't speak? Because she got to cower in the corner because her husband was the president. If he was my husband and he was the president, I wouldn't be cowering in the corner
Well,
because I have my own life
I,
too.
I think so. Y'all said a lot. So first of all, that was a crazy take that he think that she's supposed to
No,
go in the
hold
corner.
on.
Hold on,
Hey,
sir.
hold on, Eda, man.
I'll let you finish
No,
your thought,
I,
bro.
hold on, Eda, man. Hold on, Eda, because I wasn't, and I was gonna ask you a question, right? So we can do this right here. You've heard all the men call Russell Wilson a simp. Why do they call Russell Wilson a simp, Eda, man?
Because they can't be him. They couldn't get Sierra. They can't be him. They can't operate the way that he operates. That's why they call him a simp.
Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with future baby mama or
No,
Sierra coming out naked. None of those things factor.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. What happened is
Okay,
Sierra was
all right, E.
hold on, hold on. Well, let me answer your question. You asked me a question, and I'm trying to answer your question. Sierra was everybody wanted Sierra. This idea that everybody she was a person everybody wanted, and a lot of dudes got mad because she chose Russell Wilson. That's what it really came down to. Like I told you, when we use this word simp, we say, hey man, if you marry somebody, mindful, half of y'all guys ain't with y'all baby mama. Y'all like this idea of guys doing the right thing, putting a ring on it. Y'all always call that guy the simp. And y'all say the guy that's the player, the guy that's the baby daddy, that's how God's supposed to move. And that is in reality is stupid. That's a stupid statement. He married this woman, so how is he a simp to his wife? That sounds stupid.
HQ, how you doing tonight? How you
But hold
doing
on,
this
I gotta
afternoon?
make my point. I want to ask this question first, right?
Go ahead, let him make
So
his
no,
point.
so the point that I'm making is, first of all, this idea that women have to sit back in the background and not do anything is crazy in 2025, right? In 2025, women are not. It's not the 90s anymore. The part that I dislike about what she's saying Obama got up late at night and he did this and he did this. This guy's like the perfect father, and she said she hated him. I remember she said she hated him for like 10 years. See, what this shows me is this right here. It don't matter if you be the man that they desire, the man that they strive.
Right.
Typically, honestly, they gonna find a way to be unhappy. Like this idea that men can make women happy. This is a perfect example that it don't matter what Obama did, he still was gonna be hated.
All right, before y'all respond, respectfully, is bigger points in this interview than the argument
Okay.
y'all two having right now. One of the bigger points is the upbringing that Michelle and her brother gonna talk about her father and
Right.
the negative aspects of him and what they think is negative is a challenge to what real man and real masculinity is. I think that'll be a better conversation to have. Two is
Okay.
gonna be
We
Obama's.
haven't
Hold
got
on,
there
hold
yet.
on, hold on, hold
You
on.
asking us to respond to
Okay,
something we
hold
haven't
on,
got
bro.
to.
I'm still talking. Two is going to be
What?
Obama's upbringing when he bring up the gay role model and how he think all young black boys should have a gay role model. And then three is going to be when they have a good discussion. The best thing Obama had to speak on was how they've been focusing more on women rights and leaving young males in the country, period, forgotten. I think those are the three biggest takeaways from this interview. And those would be the three biggest uh
Right.
conversations we can have with this interview. HQ, you know you my baby. Respectfully to both of y'all in the panel, but
We listening to it all
yeah,
at the same time. So
yeah,
when we
let's
get to it.
keep the ball rolling to get to those bigger conversations, because y'all kind of arguing a minuscule point when it's a way bigger conversation that y'all could then bring those points into,
Right.
but they're going to get to some heavier shit that really affects our community and us as people. And I'll jump back on here once those points get to rolling out and we
You
actually
know,
hear Barack and Michelle get to talking about it. But y'all gonna get hung up on these smaller
okay.
points when we could get to bigger fish to fry.
Okay, I got you. Let's go.
My baby, I'll be back.
No,
Yeah, somebody said you doing spoilers, bro.
that brings me. But what you said, what you both have said, brings me to a question that I'm going to ask, but I'm going to contextualize it with the fact that when after you guys became famous, people would ask me about you guys meeting and how you came about and the origin story and all of that. And what I always talked about, and it warms my heart to this day, is that Barack's background is so different from our background. I mean, it's so different, and everybody knows and I used to say, in spite of the fact that we were raised so differently, somehow you developed the exact same values that we did.
So much of Barack reminded us of our dad.
Our dad and the way, stuff he said, stuff you said, and it was
his
like
consistency, his honesty, his humor,
your authenticity before people were using that word, authenticity, your calmness, and it just I brought that up because I think people who haven't asked me that question should know that and probably want to know how did that evolve?
Yeah, it's interesting because this relates to how I was thinking about fatherhood too, right? I as I think most people now know, you guys certainly know, I did not know my dad.
Right.
He was in Kenya by the time I had memories. He left my mother and I when I was 2. I met him once.
Is this the part you were talking about, Ty Pro? Just say yes or no. We getting close to that part about his dad or getting raised.
And so I'm really raised by my mom and my grandparents for about 4 years. My stepfather, when we were in Indonesia,
right,
who was a very kind man. Maya's dad, my sister's dad, and I have very fond memories of him. But one of the reasons it worked was he didn't pretend like our relationship was more than it was. He was like, "Look, I'm married to your mom. I love you. I'm going to take care of you, but I understand. We're different." And then my grandfather was older. He's white, generationally different. A good heart, but was troubled in a lot of ways and had issues. So I didn't have like the obvious role model the way you did of, all right, here's how you are a dad. And I didn't really have a bunch of uncles around or other immediate family father figures. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of piecing it together. And
which is true for so many. That's the story for so many boys growing up these days.
I mean, in that sense, I think as unusual as my background was, that part of it isn't that unusual, right? It was kind of typical. Mm-hmm. And I think a couple of things happened. Now, I was loved, and that's a starting point, right? The people who were around me cared about me, and I never felt an absence of that. And the second thing I think you learn to do when you're in that situation is, all right, I got to sort of, I have to adopt role models. I got to piece them together and get a sense of, all right, what does it mean to be a man? Now, later on, as I got older, you'd start recognizing that some of the ideas about manhood that were being given to us back in the 70s and the 80s, not all of them were great, right?
Can I ask you both to talk about what manhood meant for you? What it meant for you when you were little boys coming up, what you thought it was, and what you then came to understand it to actually be?
Well, I don't remember maybe when I was a really young child, other than the idea that guys were strong, they didn't whine, they were tough.
They were expected to go to work.
They worked
and provide,
right,
and protect.
Yes,
I mean, and I think back about Dad. I think when I'm thinking about Dad as a role model, I remember the fact that here you have a man who has MS, and he's getting up and he's going to work absolutely every day,
right?
And he is not complaining. That's another thing. Men didn't complain.
You don't complain.
Then.
You're stoic.
You were. Yeah, I love that word, stoic. Coach Carmody used to use that all the time, stoic. But our dad never complained. He never got up. He had a sense of humor. That was another thing that you learned from guys, is that you needed a sense of humor. Right. But one of the most important things that I remember is that you got along.
Got along.
You got along.
World, period.
Period. You got along with the other guys you were with. You got along with your teammates. You got along with your coworkers. Nobody wanted to be considered a jerk.
That is true. Some of the definitions of manhood, I think, were negative, right? You don't whine. You don't cry.
No emotion.
You're not a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the thing you brought up, though, about being a protector, because for some reason, that part of it, I think, appealed to me. And at its best, it then counterbalanced the idea of being strong, right? Like, you're strong not to pick on people, right? Not to be a bully, not to dominate others. Instead, it's strength in order to protect, right? And for me, a lot of being a man was being self-sufficient, right? The idea of I can handle myself and make my way through the world. And I tell this story. You've heard this.
It don't sound so bad so far. Pay attention how Barack and the brother praises and shows respect to the masculine aspects of the father, and Michelle flips it to negative. Huh?
Story, and sometimes people kind of freak out. Fairly early on, because
I do freak out over
because I was living in Indonesia. I'd fly from Hawaii to Indonesia on my own if I was visiting my grandparents, even at the age of 8. Yeah, and it was cool because stewardess was there. She'd grab you and it put you in the seat and give you a little. If it was Pan Am, they'd have a little
flight pin,
flight pin, and give you soda pop, and so I felt very grown up. I didn't mind. So I was used to traveling pretty far distances alone. And coming back from Jakarta, Indonesia, when I was at this point probably 10, maybe 11, my mother, who was working there and was about to go into the field, dropped me off. I had my little suitcase and she gave me a hug, love you, babe, and then took off. And she was about to actually leave the city.
I mean, is the brother? No, the brother's married. He's married. I mean, the whole point is everything seems normal. I mean, he seems to be more. I looked at Barack Obama as more of an international human being. See, the thing is, when all you know is 10-mile, 40-block radius. If that's all you know, another man, a man who comes into the picture, who is more refined, drinks wine, does this, that, and the third, travels, compassionate with women, understands women, talks to women. Another man who comes into your sphere like that, you think that's a foreign animal. You ain't never seen no man do no shit like that. So I'm trying to figure out, do you all come from a certain background where you look at men who are a little bit more refined and you say they're gay? Because, for example, Russell Wilson is a different type of guy too. So I don't know. I can't just believe
it. Didn't walk him through the gate. Just
it's just
I think so. So the biggest problem with, I think we have no signs whatsoever that shows that Barack Obama was gay, right? I don't know what that came from.
You've never seen any signs, or you have seen signs?
I have never seen a sign that says that he was gay.
Like I haven't seen it either. So
So one thing that I have, one thing that I'm well traveled, right? I've been around the world, right? I remember my first time going.
Yeah, but here, answer this question.
Yeah.
You have a way different viewpoint from somebody who would have just lived in a 10-mile, 66-mile radius. You have
absolutely. That's 100%. So I remember when I first started when I first started seeing men from like England or over there in like European areas, I felt that they was feminine. They wasn't as masculine, but it's kind of like their upbringing is totally different, right? They like their whole even in America, like grew up on the South and the East Coast, and when I moved over to the West Coast, the West Coast was a lot softer. I don't like saying feminine because it's not feminine, it's just they're softer. They're softer than the other men, right? And so I think sometimes what I have seen men in this space or men in general says, since you haven't learned to be as hard as I am, that means that you must be gay. And it's not gay, it's just that they have a different outlook on life, when it comes down to how they move. So I don't think I think it's an unfair statement to even say that Barack Obama is gay. I think he have never showed that, but I guess they say, hey, you know what? Like, look how he's sitting, for example. People say, oh, since he crossed his legs, that must mean, quote unquote, that he's gay. No, that's just if you really look at European men, especially when you go to France and all these places, they just sit in those type postures, and I think that's kind of what a lot of people miss.
Oh, okay.
So isolated, you have a point, right? You do got a point. People are different. People are softer. I would say softer. In other communities, people are less masculine with their feminine type of demeanors. I think sitting that way is not a proper or a professional. That's a more effeminate way to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's not calling him homosexual, but that is a more effeminate way. There are more masculine ways to be postured and to be sitting. So when you combine, and like I said, individual, what you said, cool. But when he has wrote about having a homosexual crush. He pushed a lot of LGBT plus Z's and all of that type of agendas. If you Google who has done the most for the LGBT community as a president, it would be him. So it's just, and then what he's going to go on once we get to that point in the interview and say, it raises questions and eyebrows because I have a son. I would never say my son needs a homosexual man in his life to teach him things that, I can't. But in the flip side, they speak on masculinity a lot in this interview and the loss of masculinity. And that's the biggest point to me is that we are the last few years there's been an attack on masculinity and it's been pushed for more of a softer feminine man because the masculine man is a danger. He's more dangerous than being alone in the woods with a bear. It's been this push, and they're going to speak on it eventually. And I think that when you put all of that together in totality, then you can see, yeah, he may be more on the rainbow side of things, and you will see why he's more effeminate. And we also need to start pushing back on it's okay to be masculine. It's okay to be a brutish, masculine, lumberjack type of man. That archetype is not only dying, but it's being targeted like a
But
like it's a bad thing.
there's nothing wrong with that archetype. There's nothing wrong with that
But
type. And there's nothing wrong with Barack Obama's type either. That's the
and I'm not
y'all
saying
shit.
there's nothing wrong with
Everybody want to push men and other men. There's spectrums to men just like there are
but
spectrums to
when
women.
you attacking my spectrum of manhood,
Who's
that's where the
attacking?
problem. They're going to speak on it
Nobody.
a little
And
bit.
if
It
they are, if
definitely
you're a real man,
it do, brother.
No,
The spectrum.
no. We talking about Barack. Has Barack attacked the masculine male? Has he done
Not
that?
I would
I
say
don't think so.
his
No,
his his dominion as a president started the attack on that. And if you can
no.
ignore that it's an attack on pure masculinity, brother, you sound like you're on the other side of that spectrum, so you wouldn't feel the attack.
I
They're
think
going to
it's
speak on
gangster
it.
shit like that. To hear y'all sit up here and think well, let me ask you this, because you said this. You said you are alpha male, you
I never
masculine.
said I was alpha male.
Oh, so then what you talking about then? What are we talking about?
I said masculine male, a more lumberjack, brutish. I don't that
Okay, so
alpha
let's go
beta
with
stuff
lumberjack.
is just
Let's okay,
a
brother.
No,
traditional
I just want to
masculine man.
say that not all men are like that. So you cannot say you're the best of all
I
men
didn't say
because
that
you're
either, but
beautiful.
I
No,
said
that's
that there's an
not what I'm
attack on
saying.
that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of men say you have to be this brutish, hard human
And I
being.
think them is so
Otherwise, you're not a man. Barack Obama is a man as well. He just happens to be on maybe that end of the spectrum. You can't disrespect him because he's a little softer, just like he can't disrespect you.
I'm not
He's a little harder.
disrespecting
I'm
anybody.
not
I'm saying
saying
that
you.
there's an
I'm not
attack.
saying you. I'm not
There
saying
is an attack or a shift to say that that type of man is dangerous. Hence the rather be
is
in
he
the
not?
woods alone with a bear. No, that type of man is what created this world and provides protection. And they're
He
going to
not
speak
dangerous?
and they're going to speak on that traditional
No, I'm asking a
work
question, man.
hard, take
I'm asking
care of
a
his
question. I don't want to
family
open something
man,
up
and you're
conversation.
going to see how they make that type of man that I'm talking about in this conversation. They're going
Mhm.
to say that's negative and that is not a good
But
type of man,
what
and
I'm
then go
asking you
on
is
to
this.
say men need gay role models. So
Okay.
What I'm
tell
asking
me
is
that
this.
that's not a slight to masculine man and trying to lift the more feminine man. We need gay
Wait a minute.
role
We
models.
want to hear what
What
he
is
got
the
to say. We
what,
want to hear. I want to hear what he
for
say.
sure?
How he says
For
it.
sure.
Knight, what were you gonna say real quick?
I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask the man to talk about the lumberjack dude and whatever else. How can anything bother you? Why would that bother? Listen, I think it's gangster to sit with your legs crossed. Do what you want to do as a man. Why is it that because his legs is crossing because he painted the White House a rainbow that automatically make him something other than a man?
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
so
just
it's that's a lot
um,
with Night to say. Like, I ain't got no problem
And
sitting with
either
my.
man, you need to cut it out. How dare you come up here and disrespect the West Coast?
What?
I it's
see
it's pro-
y'all getting
Hold on,
getting
hold on, hold on.
sidetracked.
It is
Y'all getting
proven.
sidetracked. Y'all can
Oh
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
that in the
That's not
comments.
important. Listen. Like, see, me personally, I
I
don't
seen
think
you
it's.
in short shorts in Hawaii. Cut it out.
See, y'all doing
So
side.
Hold on. We're gonna listen to some more.
Hold on, one second. Let me respond to what Naya said first, okay? So I don't have a problem with a man crossing their legs like that. My ball's just too big. It's uncomfortable. That's like me sitting like that is a very uncomfortable. Like I'm not gonna be comfortable that way. But the point I want to make, because I want to get back to the video, is HQ is right. It's the spectrum of what manhood is, and we got to stop saying this person is more a man than that person, and understand that the men come with this spectrum.
I agree with that.
It is what, and someone said, are we going to ignore the love letter he wrote to a man? He didn't write a love letter to a man. He wrote the love letter to his girlfriend. That's what he wrote it to. He wrote it to his then girlfriend. So, okay. They're talking about, okay, so let's listen. They finna get to the park.
Or the airport.
They get to the park.
We were there.
Yeah.
And come to find out, she'd forgotten to give me my passport.
Oh, wow.
So, and I didn't really kind of find this out until I'm about to go through customs. And so I'm problem solving a little bit here. And I'm thinking, okay, now Jakarta is a city of like 8 million people.
Right. It's not a small airport.
No, this is like being in New York or something, being at LaGuardia.
And there's no cell phones.
And there are no cell phones back then and whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, I think she had to stop by her office first before she left town. I asked the steward to leave the bag with him. I go outside. And there are these little rickshaw type things called betchaks. And I say, can you give me a ride to where my mom's office is? And I don't have any money, but I know if I get there, hopefully I catch her. Get there. She's just about pulling out. I tell her, hey, Mom, you forgot the passport. Oh, by the way, I got this driver. We got to pay. And get back in time and make my flight. And when Michelle hears this story, right, she's horrified. And I'm sure Kelly, if she heard this story, would be horrified as well. I have to say that for me, it was like, I can handle this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember feeling scared or worried or neglected. I just remember thinking, okay, how do I figure this out?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt good about the fact that I figured it out.
Yeah.
And I do think
that's a masculine moment.
Right.
Not operating under fear, being able to control the situation and finding out a solution base. And so and that's the problem I have with, I hear people, they say he's not masculine because he crossed his legs, like he can't do anything else to be masculine. That's why it's such a bad argument to say just because you do this, that means that you're not masculine. No, you might not appear masculine in that way, but masculine is such a complex thing that we gotta stop saying this one thing make you masculine or not masculine.
I think it's feminine to examine the leg crossing in the first place. I think it's feminine to talk about it's an attack. I don't care if I'm poor. I don't care if I'm less educated. I'm still a man. The fact that you have men get in their emotions and their feelings and talk about the legs crossed, it sounds like you attacking masculinity. You telling me you can tackle lions, tigers, and bears, but if somebody says something or they cross their legs, all of a sudden their manhood is under attack. Somebody exposing themselves.
Yeah, and another thing I say, Obama he's one of those people that live inside their head. So he had enough forethought, he had enough presence about himself, stoicism about himself, even when he was 10 years old, and to figure out how to get his passport back, and he didn't panic. See, and people don't understand, he was way mature beyond his years when he was a kid. So he had thought about a lot of stuff in his head, before he even acted on stuff. So that's the way I look at him. He's just a different form of man. That's all.
That element of being a man for me was important. Now, keep in mind, my mother was 18 when she had me, right? So around this time, she's not much older than Malia.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, I think I felt more protected towards her and didn't feel as if somehow
the story
that I needed to that I needed to or should depend on her in order to make sure that I'm handling my business. And
there's a spectrum of parenting. I mean, they label it now. You know, there's the helicopter, and then there's the jungle parent or the freewheeling. They call it something. Free range parenting.
Yeah. Free range.
Right.
Yeah, my mother.
No, Tribe Pro, we got what you were talking about the masculinity. We got all that. You wanted to appeal to our emotions about that. We get. You just didn't get the fact that we said there's a spectrum of masculinity. You just don't accept the spectrum of masculinity, but we do.
You're a little emotional, brother. Get out your feelings.
It was definitely in the free range
category.
Love me to death.
But there are, the story you tell is the story of probably most kids.
A lot of kids.
Across the country. Yeah. If, you're a single parent, you don't have somebody at home, a lot of kids are, they got to get up, make their own breakfast, find their way. Mm-hmm. They're doing that every day because there isn't an alternative.
Correct. And figuring out what that balance is.
That's exactly the point. What is the balance?
It's tough.
Which is very different from how we parented our kids, how Kelly is, and you and Kelly are parenting your younger sons now.
But part of it, don't you think part of it was also time specific in the sense that when we were coming up, the idea of kids just being out and having adventures and just getting home in time for dinners, especially during the summers, right? Part of what happened, and I maybe affected boys a little more than girls, I don't know, is that freedom, that sense of being able to build up resilience and a sense of competence and a sense of I can manage the world around me because the stakes weren't so high. When I think about kids now on the South Side, same neighborhoods where you guys grew up, but the chances of possibly getting shot or the chances of, some other terrible thing happening are higher. And I think that affected everybody's parenting and it affected how we handle kids, right? So that now suddenly, instead of just saying, all right, get out of here and come back for dinner time, now it's a play date. And where are you? And do we know the parents where you're playing? And so on and so forth.
We see a good example in it in one of my favorite shows on Netflix that has become the topic of conversation amongst a lot of people, particularly in Black homes, is this series Forever, which is a beautiful story of young love in a Black neighborhood. And it is not traumatic and bad things don't happen.
It's just regular kids.
It's just regular kids that reflects all of our lives in real ways. And I know you watched some of that, and Barack, you are well aware of it. But the show has created a lot of conversation.
Can you pause
in
right
terms
there
of how do you raise emotionally intelligent?
How old is Barack?
I think he may be a couple years older than me. Michelle is about 5 years older than me, so he may be 7. So he might be 65.
Okay.
60, he might be 64. Wait a minute, how old is she? 60. I think Michelle's like 62 or something. Oh, okay. He's 69. Oh, okay.
I didn't know what's that. Oh, you can go ahead.
63, 69. That's too big of a gap.
Boys and what we get right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right, and what we get wrong. Not just among boys, but kids in general.
We watched it as a family. We watched the whole series as a family.
I mean, don't you think as a person that grew up different way, don't you think if you were raised by, just for example, you had a white mother and you were a Black man raised by a white mother, don't you think your upbringing would be different?
Yes.
To somebody that's married a Black single mama? Because his mother was basically, for all intents and purposes, she was a single white mother.
Yeah.
But that's different from a single Black mother. So he had a totally different life.
And that's why I look at him a little bit differently. When I look at that couple and that marriage, I look at Michelle as more African American. I look at him as more of like Hawaii, something else.
A mixture of all of that.
That's his age, because if he's like 63, like I was born in the 70s. So in the 80s was pretty bad. It was really heavy violence then. So when he's like 60, if he's 63, his teenage years would have been like in the early 70s.
Right.
I think it was a little bit more comfortable. And then was he living in Hawaii?
Hawaii, yeah. I think he was.
Yeah, so that's a whole different thing than like the South Side, Chicago.
You're used to seeing all types of people because there's an army base there. You're going to see black people. You're going to see Hawaiian people. You're going to see mixture of Native American. You're going to see all kinds of people there. And then the whole point is, can we agree that when you are in a close proximity and that's all you see is black people, you become comfortable around black people and that's all you get comfortable around. And then somebody else that comes around, you ain't so comfortable with those people.
Yeah.
But so if you're raised with white, black, Asian, all that, you have a different perspective about how people act and react. So
and I think that makes a large difference. So his experience compared to Michelle's experience, because she's actually in the South Side of Chicago, and she is in her 60s. So when she's in her late teens, early 20s, she's really seeing a lot of violence, a lot of so it's completely different.
Yeah, they got a completely different life, upbringing. Even though he's from worse than theirs because he was like from a single family, but he's still having a white mother living in Hawaii, different from a black mother living in Chicago ghetto, totally different.
Family and enjoyed it a lot, and it was really fun to hear the boys talk about, oh, you guys would have done that, or you guys wouldn't have done that. That was eye-opening as a parent. Because
they're evaluating you.
They're evaluating our parenting, or they're evaluating their parenting based on their own.
That's the crazy. That's the crazy thing Dad would do.
But this brings me back to Emma. Emma's trying to raise these boys, and so she's trying to be somewhere between Forever and then the other show that people are talking about, Adolescence, which I haven't watched yet, which it gets into sort of the misogyny that young boys are exposed to,
and the online,
the manosphere.
They're getting their parenting.
They're getting their
online.
parenting.
They're getting their notions of manhood from extreme
extremists.
Extremists.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because let's go back to the original question. All right. Emma's trying to figure out how to raise boys. I think we did a pretty good job of raising our girls. But I've said often that I think I would have had more difficulty raising a son.
I agree.
Because I think I might have been more judgmental, harder, and I would have tried to, I like to think I would have been more self-aware enough to combat that. But I just think father-son relationships, for me, particularly if I don't have a dad around to show it to me, might have been more difficult. So talk about, Craig, just how you thought about it. Was it just you took what your dad had done and you said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try the same thing.
Or were there things
did it change over time?
It was a little bit of everything, but what you're both saying. Initially, I thought, okay, I'm going to take what I learned from Dad, all the things that I thought were positive, and then the couple of things that I thought were negative, I was going to try and repurpose.
Right.
What were some of the positives?
Well, it's just kind of the stuff that I named before. The willingness to get up and go to work every day, taking me with him to see what it was like to have male relationships, either at work, at the barbershop. He didn't go to the gym, but in places where men hung out.
Right.
The record store, we would go to the record store every now and then, and he'd have a bunch of friends there. That sounds like an old
I know the record
idea
store.
going to the record store.
Oh, it's come back.
It's come back.
Oh, has it? Okay,
Yeah,
good. Good.
It's retro.
But those were some of the positive things. You know, how to walk with mom when you're walking down the street. Always walk on the street side.
Mm-hmm. On the street
and
side.
holding the door and opening the door for her, allowing her to go in. Right. It was just things like that. Right. And then I'd have to really work at thinking of something negative that dad did. But
well, what about let me ask this though. I mean, dad also came home, put his feet up, he didn't always cook, or he didn't do dishes, he didn't do.
But you have to remember that I was thinking at the time.
Okay.
And so, I think that's the problem I have with Michelle. Okay. Is that she have to find something negative. This is not just with her dad. She had to find something negative with Obama. It's like, I gotta find something wrong. And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with a man who worked all day coming at home and putting his feet up and relaxing. Kind of decompressing from the world. You know what I'm saying? But we try to spin that into negative, because now we got this idea that this man's supposed to be Superman. He's supposed to fight for 12 hours at the world, and he's supposed to come home and have all this energy to be this stay-at-home guy.
But man, do you think that the pick your feet up is the norm?
Yeah, it should be. I think it should be.
No, not what it should be. I'm asking you, do you think that that's the norm?
Yes.
A lot of men I knew was washing dishes, changing diapers, cooking, and working, doing all that shit.
No, I get what you're saying. So first of all, we gotta put this in the perspective of her dad, because that's what we're talking about. Right. Her dad. And so we're not talking about in 2025.
You can't in one voice say she looking for the negative when that's her isolated situation. But then when I ask you about I asked you about the norm. I don't think that most men is doing 12 hours a day.
No. I think, so you're missing what I'm saying, right? I'm saying we're asking about, was that the norm for her father age to kick their feet up? And I'm saying yes. And I think you're having a conversation. What's the norm today?
If she's 63, you're right. Either man. If she's 63, you're right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that that's the norm. I'm saying that was the norm for her situation. That's the point.
Yes, I agree with you.
Of that time.
But why would that be a negative? Why is that negative?
Look how she flipped it when he
said. No. Why is that a negative when that's the he said negative and positive. He said, the brother said there's negative and positives, and he mentioned
he said he couldn't think of nothing negative.
She's older, so she thought of the negatives. Yes.
He couldn't think of nothing negative. They just spent all this time praising this man for having MS, still going to work every day, taking care of the family, not complaining about it, getting along with everybody, keeping a positive energy about making sure he busts his back every day to take care of the family. I can't think of anything negative about the
because
situation.
He's a man.
And then Michelle,
because he's a man.
That's the biggest conversation. Then Michelle,
but y'all missed it though.
Michelle flips.
Hold on, because he's a man. I would have
Michelle flips that positive. They was just giving him admiration and respect for what he was doing, and the same things that they just admired and respected. And so he came home and he didn't cook. She's doing her job. He didn't have to come home and do her job. He already was doing his job.
I think, but y'all missed it. What y'all missing is Michelle did not know any positive. Because if you look at her expression,
she don't look at the masculine aspect as positive. She looked at it from the view of, you doing all of that stuff. That's nice, but you're not helping mom do her job. You just doing your job.
So what was wrong with her thinking that way?
Because it's not. It's a,
no.
Balance.
If my husband, when I think back of my father never came in and did X, Y, and Z too. So if I'm going to,
he was outside doing A, B, and C.
Yeah, but my mother was outside doing A, B, and C too. So, but he never cooked unless it was maybe for himself. I never saw him cook a big. I've never seen my father cook a big meal for the whole family. I never saw that.
That's what women be raised to do, like Big Mama used to do on
No.
Sundays.
But so
You
you
never seen Big Dad. You see a
I
man
get
get out
all
there
that.
and grill for the
I get
whole family.
I get all
But
that.
Big
But
Mama
you
gonna be in
cannot
the kitchen.
say. But you cannot say it's not a negative for her perspective. Because if you had to push me to say what negatives would I say that my father may have had, I could have said the same thing. Well, I never
But
saw him
that's
cook
not a
meat.
negative if you working
It is
all
a
day. But
negative.
she
It's a
didn't even
negative for
say her
women.
mom was working. Her mom, he goes to say, yeah, mom is at the house all day. So dad is at work all day. Why would you come home from work with MS taking care of everything you got to be able to do your job and expect me to do some of your job? That's the balance. And
Yeah,
Barack
but see,
says
here's the
gender
thing.
roles.
Well, this is what you don't get. His job is 8 hours.
His
Her
job
job
ain't
is
no 8 hours.
hold on. His job, when he go to work and he do his thing and he come home, that's 8 hours worth of work. A
He
woman's job,
wasn't working at
hold on.
Wendy's.
But a woman's job is done 24/7 if she stay at home with kids.
That's
She
the
be,
balance.
she
It
gotta
is what
be,
it
she
is.
gotta be on her job 24/7.
You think that
You
she
only
would have
gotta
wanted
go
to
to your
switch?
job.
You
Hold
think she
on, you're
would have
not
wanted to
listening to what
switch
I'm
roles
saying.
with him?
You're not listening to what I'm saying. You just said he goes and he does his job and then he come home and maybe he can sit at home and not do nothing. And that's
Do
your job
do
to handle
you
the house. But if
do
I'm
you
doing
think
a
she
job
would?
for 24 hours a day, I need a break too.
No, she sleeps. Do you think she would have wanted to switch and he
You
stay at
sleep
home?
too.
Hold on. Do
You
you
sleep
think?
too. What do you
Do you
mean?
HQ? Do you think she would have gladly said, you know what, you stay here all day and do this, now I'll go do your job? And
It
thank
don't
you,
matter
Black
to
America.
me.
Most men don't have 8-hour jobs. I don't know who
Yes,
got
they
an
do.
8-hour
Yeah,
job.
they
I
do. Yeah,
work
they do.
50 to 60 hours. I don't know men who work 8 hours. That's
Okay,
office work.
fine and dandy. You
Women
got
do 8-hour
fine and
jobs.
dandy. You got 12-hour days. You got 12-hour days. You got 4 12-hour days. You ain't doing no 10-hour,
I work
12-hour days.
five 12-hour
Fine and
days.
dandy. You got 12 hours of the day. But I still got to watch those kids and do what got to be done for
And you
24
gonna
hours of the
gossip on
day.
the phone. You gonna watch some soap
No,
operas.
no, no,
You ain't
no,
just
no.
slaving in the house all
Don't
day.
dismiss
You
what
not
she
you
doing.
not
Don't
slaving in the
dismiss
house
what
for
she
12
doing.
hours. You're
Don't
not.
dismiss
It's
what
not
she doing.
dismissing. It's being
You're
you
dismissing what she
dismissing
doing.
what I'm doing. I'm
No,
probably
I'm not.
outside.
No, I'm not.
You talking
I
about
just said you doing your 12 hours. You are
physical
working
labor.
at your job for 12 hours.
Physical
I
labor
got a
in the
question.
elements.
Hold on. If you work 12 hours a day, that's still 12 hours of the day you ain't working. If I work at home and I do things for the kids, I clean up, I do all of that, I'm doing it 24/7 because you don't want to
So
do.
you telling
Hold
me
on,
that
I
when a
ain't done
woman
talking.
is at
Hold
home,
on, I
she's
ain't done
cooking,
talking. Hold
cleaning,
on, I
washing
ain't
for
done
12
talking.
hours?
Hold on, I ain't done talking.
Maids don't even do that.
Hold on, I ain't done talking. There's still 12 hours in the day. Even if I do take care of kids and clean the house for 12 hours, and you go outside the house and work for 12 hours, that's still 12. It's still 12 hours in the day left in the day. So I got to keep doing my job for the rest of those 12 hours, for the 24 hours, and you can't help none. You can't
You
help none.
being disingenuous,
And I'm telling
disingenuous
you,
and unrealistic. You being
telling you, wait a minute, hold
disingenuous and
on, hold on,
unrealistic,
before,
HQ.
no, hold on.
That's not
That's why, wait a
unrealistic
minute,
at
hold
all,
on.
brother.
It is because she's
No,
not working for 24 hours
no, see, you
because nobody
dismissing
is
what she,
doing nothing for 24
That
hours and
sound
she's not in the house.
crazy. That sound crazy. Nigga, you
did
crazy.
anybody
Bro,
understand
sit
what
your
I was saying to him or not?
HQ. Just we got the same 24
We
hours.
just because,
Me,
hey,
hold
look,
on.
just because you work
You
hard in your
sleeping just
12
like
hours.
I'm sleeping.
Hold on. Just because you work 12 hours, hard 12 hours, don't mean you get to say, well, since I work hard 12, you got to work the hard, you got to work the easy 24. That's not how that works. That's why a lot of women leave their husbands. This is exactly why, because you dismiss what they do. They at home 24 hours a day watching kids, talking to nobody but kids, doing whatever they doing 24 hours. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. 12 hours, even if you take a block of 12 hours and I work at home, I'm still working at home for 12 hours. There's still 12 other hours. So I got to sleep for 8 of those hours. That still leave 4 more hours. but you ain't gonna help me with them other 4. You're not gonna help me. You're just gonna say, fuck it, I'm gonna come home and put my feet up. And then y'all wonder why women leave. This is why women leave. Think about it. This is why women leave. Men say, we don't know why women leave. This is why women leave right here. Because you think I don't do anything. You think I'm not worth anything other than sitting at home on my ass. Like, it's easy to take care of kids. That's the problem. Ask yourself why 70% of the women leave. This is it right here. So it's got to be something to it. It's got to be something to it. And men keep saying, no, she don't need to leave. She ain't doing nothing. She just sitting at home.
HQ, you are not at home washing the walls with a toothbrush, slaving, hand washing drawers, hand washing, teaching the kids, cooking every meal. You're not, nobody is doing that. So stop inflating what your side of the job is doing.
Hey, Ty Pro, can I ask you a
Bro,
question?
let me finish.
I didn't say it was a lot of work.
Stop inflating your side of the job.
Who stopped you from talking? First of all, I said, can I ask you a question?
Let me finish speaking.
Why are you upset?
Hold on.
Dog.
Let him finish.
I'm talking to HQ. I don't even know y'all.
Let him finish.
First of all,
I don't know you either, nigga. What the fuck?
Be quiet.
Let him finish.
HQ.
You better be lucky HQ saving your life, nigga.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Boy, you don't sit your too old for this shit the fuck down somewhere. Like
exactly.
I'm saying, HQ.
You sound like you crying up here.
And you sound like a soft bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Y'all calm down.
Look at him cry.
HQ, please let me finish my point. If you overinflating,
let her finish.
Dog,
I didn't
shut
no,
the fuck
you're saying
up.
something I didn't say.
Okay,
I did not say it was difficult.
I heard you. You're overinflating the fact that you keep saying you working for 24/7. I'm just bringing it back to a realistic point. Nobody is working doing anything for 24/7. But the fact of the matter is, it's not about, and it's not even a competition between the man's job and the woman's job. I'm not trying to say that the woman's job is less important than my job. All I'm saying is, in the dynamic, because some people work, both parents are working and still taking care of the house. But in the dynamic that Michelle Obama was talking about, where she flipped it and made it a negative, where the man is working and the woman is a stay-at-home mom, it's not about me coming home to help you, because I'm doing my job when I'm out in the world making a way for us to do everything we need to do. So I don't have to come and help you with. Now, yes, any man can jump in and help, but it should not be an expected thing, and it damn sure shouldn't have been a negative thing for Michelle to flip and make negative, because mom is home cooking, cleaning, and taking care of the kids. She's not got a toothbrush, washing toilets and doing this shit every day. We already know that. We already know in reality that it doesn't take 12 hours to take care of a house all day. Yes, it's a sporadic day. Yes, you're taking care of kids throughout the day as they come and they go. They might go outside and play, might go to school, do all of that. But you're not just on your fucking feet all day. Besides when you sleep, you just a living maid. And that's the type of discussion you keep talking about. That's why women leave. That mindset of making it seem like they're at home and being a housewife is slavery. That mindset is why women leave. It's delusional, and it's not. It should be a balance at the house. If the man is outside working, making his bread, then the woman should be at the crib taking care of the house.
My mindset is not why women leave. It's your mindset.
Having a mindset that being a housewife is slavery is a dangerous mindset.
Your mindset that seems to think that if you come home and you work 12 hours, you don't get to give a bath to a kid. You don't get to throw water, clothes in the laundry. You don't get to touch a dish. It's that mind frame that's making women leave. It's not my mind frame.
If you are at home, I shouldn't have to. I work 50 to 60 hours a week on my own and take care of my whole crib, clean, do everything I got to do. So I'm very capable of working 12 hours a day and coming home and taking care of whatever needs to happen. But if you have the luxury of not having to work because of my 50, 60 hours a week, I should not be expected to come home and do anything. Now, when Saturday coming, you see daddy on the grill and I'm cooking and I'm cleaning. I say, baby, sit down. I got it. That's cool. But that's the balance. Stop
Can
making it seem
anybody
like
else talk?
one is so much harder than the other one, or that you
I
are
never
just
said
locked in
that.
slavery
You
for
said that.
24/7. You
I
making
didn't
it
say
seem
that.
like the woman
Can
You
anybody
is
else
in
talk?
slavery and
wait.
she's running
Hold
from
on.
marriage.
Did you understand what I said by working 24 hours? Did you understand what I said?
No, because it's not real.
Okay, there you go. Because you don't.
No, that's not realistic. It's
You're
not,
not
because
listening
we
to
gotta
that at
sleep. You
all,
don't have to
KQ.
rest. I'm
Okay.
gonna land my plane there. I'll let
Go
y'all
ahead.
squabble. Night,
Go
you a
ahead,
bitch.
Knight.
I'll be
Go ahead,
back in a
Knight.
minute. I'll be
Go
back in a
ahead.
I'm
minute.
not squabbling with you at all, brother. I'm
Go
just
ahead,
saying.
Knight. Go ahead, Knight.
I'm trying to. Did they have 2 or 3 daughters?
I think it's 3 of them. Or
Yeah.
maybe
So
them.
so
Michelle,
so Michelle is there with 3 daughters.
she 2 daughters. Michelle got 2 daughters.
Oh, so they only got 2 kids.
I got 2 kids. Yes.
Okay, so they got 2 kids. Here's the thing, and I mean,
Chelsea
I
Lynn,
don't.
they don't understand what I'm talking about. Thank you, Chelsea Lynn.
I understand what you're saying, because so you do the 12 hours with the kids, and then when he get off work, you gotta probably massage his shoulders and put his feet in the soaking bath, his feet, and do so the job ain't over. When you get off work, nigga, she gotta work with you as soon as you get home. So what are you saying?
This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you look at my job as being at home, if I look at my job and I work 12 hours at home, you work 12 hours at work. You come home, I would like a break too. Sometimes I would like a break too. What people are saying, what men are saying, some men are saying is, or some women are saying, they don't come home and help. Even though I'm doing 12 hours just like them, I'm not doing as a heavy lifting as much as they are, but I'm still doing 12 hours. So if I'm doing 12 hours at home and you're doing 12 hours at home, at work, that means we both have 4 hours of free time. So why is it that you can't help me a little bit? You can't help me a little bit? This is why women are leaving, because of that 4-hour gap in which you feel as though you get to sit at home and not do anything other than just work your 12 hours. But I'm on duty 24 hours a day, because if that kid gets up in the middle of the night sick, blah, 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 I'm still the one who has to get up and deal with the child.
Well, I think the problem, because I want to hear both sides before I respond to it. So the problem is, I think it's
Your mic is messed up.
Your mic is messed up, honey.
E.
Oh, dang.
And
so that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm saying that 4-hour gap.
I would like Ty to stop running away, because I want to ask him, is he in the trades or something? You doing construction? What are you doing that got you like? I thought you was an intellectual. Are you doing trades? You doing construction? You lifting concrete? What you doing? What you doing for the 12 hours?
He's a truck driver or something like that. Truck driver. Yes.
You're driving?
Yeah, he's a truck driver.
Do they take the stuff off your truck with a forklift? What? So I mean, I understand you drive. Ty, stop running. I want to talk to you for a minute, because if you just sitting down and driving for 12 hours, I'm trying to understand something.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just so extremes, right? I forgot I was on the internet, right? So a woman's not working.
Right.
A woman's not working 24 hours a day, right? That's not it, right?
No, we're not. I'm not saying.
I get what you're
physically.
saying.
Okay.
I get the point you was making, right? So the problem with the argument we having, right, is it's really hard for a woman's job when the kids are young. When you talk about, especially if you got 3 kids under the age of 2, and you dealing with all that at one time. But once these kids get older,
right,
you shouldn't. For example, so if a woman said, "I need you to help me with these kids under the age of 5, I need this type of help," I understand that. But once these kids start getting, especially talking about 14, 15, like especially if you got females in the house, I think it's a woman responsibility to teach her how to clean the house, So she should actually be leaning more on her kids to wash the dishes and clean the house a little bit more.
Right.
So I think sometimes we get caught in this space and we just talk about this blanketly. And
Oh,
but I
that's
think
cool. But Eda, man, let me ask you: do you do construction?
no, I'm in
You have
sales.
a more of a brain job,
I'm in
where you don't have to
sales.
do no physical labor.
I'm in sales.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you that's what I'm saying. So are you doing 12 hours of sales?
Yeah, 12, 14-hour sales. My
12
wife,
14 hours.
I tell you, I'm working close to 12 to 14 hours a day.
And let me say this. I'm gonna say this. Anybody out there listen, I think Eda man to come home and help his wife.
You wrong.
You don't do
Listen, you
shit. You just
you
come home and kick your feet up.
listen, you absolutely wrong.
Do
When
you
I
just
come home,
no. Just say that. You just come home and kick your feet up.
yeah, for the most part, I'm well aware of my house. Like I can come home and I can tell if my wife done had a long day with the kids because kids are immature versions of you, right? That's what people don't understand, right? So
Right.
not she didn't deal with a mature version of a person, but she dealt with an immature person for 12 hours. So if I can, I'm saying, hey, let me take the kids to the park. Let me give you some time to yourself. I understand that, but for the most part. I have teenage girls. Since I have teenage girl, I'm not washing no dish. I'm not cleaning no
Right.
house. I'm not doing any of those things
Right.
because I got teenagers that live in this household. Now, if we did not have teenagers, it'd be a whole different conversation. But
Not if
since I
you
have
had children under the age of 8 or 5.
yeah, but I have a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old.
You don't
So
know. I'm
true.
saying if you had children under the age of 5, would you not understand the position I'm giving you?
Yeah, that's what I said. I understand both sides of the argument. I
Okay.
definitely understand, like, especially because, especially if you got 2 or 3 kids under 5, that is a lot of toil for one person to handle that type of stress. And
Right.
that's usually, especially most people have their kids back to back. So
Right.
you got like a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. That could be a very intense thing for you to say that you expect this woman to do that by themselves, right? So
Right.
I get those things, right? But what I'm saying is, it's all depending on what type of kids you got. But I am a type of dude at this point in my life that I typically don't do anything. I'm playing with the kids. That's kind of my role. I
Right.
come home playing
You
hide and go
take out
seek.
trash.
I
You
don't take out
good.
no trash. That's what I'm saying. I don't
You
believe in
don't take.
tradition.
Wait. You don't take out no trash.
No,
I'm kidnapping you,
Them
nigga. I'm
kids,
taking
them
your
kids
wife.
big. He don't need. They can do all that. Okay.
they
They
do
can do
all that.
all that. Okay. Let's listen.
That was okay because he was at work all day and he needed to rest, and mom was always cooking. So, but that's a good one. That's a good potential negative.
Gender roles, very clear division.
Very clear gender roles.
Very clear.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to do the positive things and then sort of expose Avery, who's my oldest, to less of the negative things.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember, Avery's 33. So he didn't have to worry. We didn't have to worry about social media.
Mm-hmm.
There was very little internet stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We really focused on how to behave out in public as a guy, or I should say, how to get along, how to treat girls, how to have conversations. But with Austin and Aaron, it's more of how do you deal with social media?
Yeah.
And which was in Forever, the whole premise of the show. What are you supposed to say when you do
Is
that?
this a spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Was a video that got leaked.
Mhm.
So we're constantly talking to them about that. And now I have even more things to draw from because I raised Avery,
right?
And there were some things that I was like, I wish I hadn't done that.
I could have done that better.
I could have done that better. Whether it was sort of teaching them how to drink. I mean, if you don't know how to, you could end up in a bad situation.
Right.
More direct conversations about the first time you are with a woman intimately.
Do you mean sex, Craig?
I do mean sex, and it's funny how I was tiptoeing around.
Craig got a little.
I was gonna let him do it because I feel like I'm
like,
on
you
television.
made me nervous. I was just like, let him get through this.
But
my thing is, the interview is not bad. The whole point is, Craig seems sus to me, but I don't think he's sus. You know what I'm saying? I meant to ask you guys, have you guys heard from Sharon? Is Sharon coming back?
Is he coming back?
Yeah.
I don't know. He might.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, because I used to listen to him in the mornings. Now I ain't got nobody to listen to, really. Okay. No.
I'm offended. I'm on early in the morning. What are we saying, HQ?
Well, I don't know. I got your, I don't know. No, you know what it was? I meant to subscribe to your thing, and you got that weird name, and I couldn't figure out how to put that weird name.
Nightish is weird? No Ilianify.
Oh, it's got a weird, you got weird, it's a weird
my name is No Ilianify.
No. Wait a minute. It's got a weird font. That's what it was. And I tried to put it in and I couldn't find the font.
No, it's NOILLIONIFY. No Ilianify. I want to say this to Ty Pro. Ty Pro said, what do I do? I'm a landlord, I'm a content creator, and I'm a virtual assistant.
Okay.
So I make intros and banners and make channels and all that other stuff.
Okay.
So I'm not tired. I can come home and help my wife wash a dish, cook a meal. I got plenty of time and energy.
I know that's right.
I don't know what you do, but try harder, nigga.
I love what you were talking about earlier, and this was part of my thinking about being a man and being a protector was the little things. You know, getting somebody's chair, opening a door, helping, standing up if you're on the bus.
Yeah.
And giving your seat to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the basic things that also just had to do with being thoughtful, right? This was like
being kind.
I mean, this was male expressions of kindness and consideration.
It used to be called common courtesy.
Common courtesy.
Can I ask, because as you guys are talking about these characteristics and traits, again, a lot of it is how to behave, the external part of you. But I think what I hear that gets missed, and it was missed in you guys growing up in definitions of manhood, was the internal self.
Yes.
Right? Because all the stoicism is external. Manners, common courtesy, it's all external. Protecting, it's all outward. It's like, how do you appear? I don't want you to get arrested, so you have to behave in a certain way. I want you to be polite because I want you to be safe, right? And there's not a lot of conversation at this table about, well, how do you feel? And how are boys being taught to help sort through their internal selves? I mean, it's almost like you're supposed to pretend like you don't have an internal self, an internal emotion of hurt or fear. Or
you say what?
I just want to ask you, maybe from a woman point of view, how do you think it feels to be a man?
Oh, you're right. Let me take it out.
That's a weird question.
I could not even begin. I couldn't answer it adequately because my DNA is such that I'm always on girl code, and I'm leveling up to 66 all the time. I could never even fathom that concept of it.
Why do it? Let me help my guy Ty Pro out. From 1984 until 2018, I did construction, my nigga. I build houses from the ground up, concrete, roofing, electrical, the whole thing. So you saying you do a man job? What is a man job, my guy?
Or all the things that are natural of any human, but definitely, fears and emotions that young boys, adolescent men, grown men are feeling, but there's no talk in any of these conversations about being anyone, father present, father not, helping boys guide through that piece of it. It's almost as if we are raising boys and pretending like their outward selves are the only things that matter.
I believe you all forget to give the option of empathy to men, because that's the part I feel is missing from a lot of men's discussions, is the empathy part about other human beings,
and therefore who they are internally.
Right, a lot.
The empathy part, because the empathy part, meaning maybe you have to come across as stoic or very, very standoffish, and a masculine man doesn't show empathy, doesn't show sympathy, doesn't want to, show any emotion. And that's
Can you show Ty Pro's last comment?
I'm sorry. Dog, stop talking to me. Nobody give a fuck. Nobody cares what you add to the conversation.
And I thought he cared about men.
Oh,
that's a little suspect, but he been talking all this masculinity is under attack, but he don't give a fuck about men. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
This woman came up to me and she was so nice.
Y'all made me mess up. Y'all made me kick this whole thing. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Y'all made me skip. Okay, there it is. Here we are.
Well, how do you feel? Right. And how are boys being taught to help sort through their internal selves? I mean, it's almost like you're supposed to pretend like you don't have an internal self, an internal emotion of hurt or fear or all the things that are natural of any human, but definitely, fears and emotions that young boys, adolescent men, grown men are feeling. But there's no talk in any of these conversations about being anyone, father present, father not, helping boys guide through that piece of it. It's almost as if we are raising boys and pretending like their outward selves are the only things that matter, and therefore who they are internally, how they process, how they deal with fear and hurt. Like that, that's not even on the list of.
No, I would agree with you. It's not on the list because I don't know about you, but during my upbringing, nobody talked about that.
Yeah, so that you couldn't even have that for yourself.
I wouldn't even known how to have it, right?
Yeah.
I would have. I'm just trying to think about the times when I felt insecure. That's internal, or I felt fear, or I felt some sort of way. I could always go to dad and say, I'm feeling this because of something that took place. It wasn't, I didn't even know that I could be feeling this just inside and it not manifesting itself. It was always a discussion on something it was some issue that had come up.
And so it was a problem-solving conversation.
It was always a problem-solving conversation.
Well, look, I do think that is part of
the
culture we grew up.
His father said
was not that you didn't have feelings, but you ascribed them to a certain situation. Somebody's messing with you.
He had a father.
You're getting bullied at school.
You said what now?
In the middle. What's the man in the middle name?
His name is Craig.
Craig had a father to go to?
That's Michelle's brother.
No, I'm asking, did he have a father to go to?
Yeah, he had a father to go to.
What did his father say about his fears and whatever?
I don't know. He's talking about him now, so I don't know. Brother Man Daily, according to that. Oh, y'all.
You didn't make the team. How should you deal with this, right? And then there would be real conversations, but it very much was around, all right, stuff happens in the world and you got to deal with it. And it goes back to the whole notion of being strong, self-reliant, don't be a baby, etc. I do think that one of the differences for me was being raised by a teen mom, and young mother, was she would talk to me a lot about how she was feeling, and in turn I could talk to her about how I was feeling, and so I do think I developed some internal vocabulary
so he didn't
around
have
this.
his father in his life,
and frankly,
what?
So Barack did not have his father in his life?
No, Barack's Barack's father and mother were married, and they were divorced when he was young. His father, I think, went back to Africa or wherever he was from, and then had another family. But
so he was with the other family. He kind of abandoned Barack.
Yes.
So Michelle had her father and her mother. So that's her brother over there.
Yes.
And he had his father in his life.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard for us to listen to Barack talk about a father when he didn't have a father in his life.
He had his white grandfather who was around, but that was it. He had his
how could a white grandfather relate to a black grandson?
I'm assuming he felt like he was his grandson, and he just never really thought about his color. And he was raised.
How does Barack react to a white grandfather when he's a black man?
I mean, he seems to have been a very cerebral child, and he thought, and he was in his feelings, or he was very much in tune with his self when he was a young kid. So maybe he figured out how to disseminate. He figured out how to navigate all of those complex feelings that he had as a kid, not having a father or having a white grandfather or whatever. Maybe he learned how to figure all of that stuff out. I don't know. He seems to be that type of kid, because some of us, we may not know this type of kid, but we can imagine a kid that's very self-sufficient, very, very much so.
Seems like he has more of his mother's.
He was raised by her. Of course, he had some of her things.
So I can't see. So, and then if you got a white grandfather, so you completely are out of the loop when it comes to blackness. That's why I say Michelle was more.
I don't know.
Yeah, can you hear me, HQ?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, and please forgive me. I do not mean to derail this, but Mr. Knightish, are you dissing blue collar workers, brother?
How you figure that?
Well, because the way you're talking is like, I know you said you did construction for several years.
I didn't say several. I didn't say several. I said 24 years.
Okay, I know, and I put several, right? So you did it for 24 years. Yeah. Big ups to you. But the way you're talking about, I'm a truck driver, right? And so with that being said, I work 70 hours a week, bro. And truck driving is not just hold on 1 second. And truck driving is not just
hold on for.
And truck driving is not just sitting. Okay, it's one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, brother. It's a really tough job. And Ty Pro is a very young man. He's still in his 30s. He's not as old as us to have been able to get to the level that you're at right now. So, that's all I'm saying. I just,
can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
America.
Yes, sir.
So
why is it okay for the man to call me a bitch and a woman and all that other shit, and you come up here and defend him?
Well, because you kept on interjecting, and you kept on.
Why is it okay?
Oh,
I'm going to interject you too. Why is it okay for him to call me a homosexual, a bitch, and all that other shit, and you come up here and defend him? Make that make sense to me.
Because you kept interjecting when he was talking to HQ.
I don't talk that much, but when I say something, if you hold
Knightish, you talking over me. And I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and me and you are the same age.
And we trying to hit a video, so
and I know this
about that.
conforms to my nerdy reputation that my wife likes to tease me about. But books taught me a lot about emotions, right? I like reading and movies and TV shows, et cetera. But getting that sense of, oh, this is what people go through, and developing kind of an inner monologue about situations. How are other people feeling? How am I feeling? I tried to kind of piece that together, and it was imperfect. But at least there were avenues in which I could have those conversations. Craig, I am interested in what you described in terms of your relationship with your dad. So did that then carry over to how you interacted with your friends coming up? And was there a point in time where you thought, okay, when I'm dealing with Avery or Aaron or Austin, I need to maybe have a different approach. I need to share more of my emotions so that they feel like they can come to me and talk about theirs. What was that process?
So the process was this. I felt like once I had kids, I had to reevaluate everything, which included my relationships with my friends and family and work and the whole thing. And I realized when Avery was born, I needed to cut down my circle of friends to the serious ones, because I've got some serious business of raising this these kids when Leslie came along. And it was about that time that it is probably the first time where I had really deep conversations with my male friends, where you started to understand.
Pause that for a second.
Okay, something's going on with this person. Let me
What how do you feel about Mr. Craig right there?
Mr. Craig, they keep mentioning
the question I want to ask you, does he come across effeminate to you?
Yes, very feminine, but that's, I'm assuming, is because he's very proper, and maybe I don't know why he is, but he's different. Hold on, he's different from Brock. He's if you're gonna put a men on a spectrum, this guy in the middle, Craig, would be on this end. A very burly masculine man would be on this other end, and Barack would be in the middle. Barack does not come across as funny or feminine in any way when you put him next to this guy.
Yeah. So to me, he seems very effeminate, but Barack seemed more objective.
Barack don't, to me, he doesn't come across as effeminate at all.
Not effeminate, but not masculine. Not I would never look at Barack as like effeminate, but he's very like you said, he's very mental. He's very he's in his head a lot.
Well, this is interesting. Now y'all guys are raising some interesting points. So this is a man who was raised by his father, and Barack learned how to be a man through a book. So we saying that masculinity is actually taught. It's more of a taught behavior that we can learn without the presence of a male figure.
Now listen to that. Barack didn't have a male figure, and yet he taught himself to be a man, or taught himself all of those masculine traits. Some of them came inherently, yes, but to emphasize, the other guy had a father. He was with his dad. So why is it that when you have a dad in the house, you still come across as effeminate? Barack didn't have a dad in his house, and yet he doesn't come across as effeminate at all. I don't understand how we reconcile that.
Maybe Craig had one of them fathers who was into that happy wife, happy life type stuff.
Well, no, but then I said now that we're stretching, because Craig said that his father came home, sat down, put his feet up. He's just striving the masculine, quote unquote, traits that we knew from back in the day. And he said, hey, my dad took me to the record shop. He taught me how to be chivalrous. He taught me all of these behaviors. So now you got to ask the question is, after teaching all of those things, why are you still presenting yourself this way?
Right.
Yeah, what happened? That's the question with Craig. What happened?
I don't know. Barack does not come across as feminine to me at all. Not at all. I don't get it. I don't get how people see that and then they look at Craig and then think Craig is harder than Barack. I don't understand.
What? Who said that?
I'm just saying. Nobody in the chat said anything about the brother being funny looking or acting funny. So does he come across more masculine than Obama?
Hell no.
Right.
Well, I think the major concern is what Barack is gonna ultimately end up saying in this interview, but we're gonna let that play out before I.
Yeah, but I don't understand why. Maybe this HQ show. I don't know why we want to talk about the future. Like, this is my first time watching it. I'm trying to react in like real time.
Well, yeah, some people have already seen the interview though, Emmanuel.
I know,
so, but we have to be fair and let everybody see it, before we.
I'm reacting in real time too. I haven't seen it either.
No. So when people keep saying, "Hey, check this out," he gonna do something. And it's actually jading y'all point of view, actually seeing what's happening in this moment.
You want us to have an authentic. You want us to have the authentic response, because then you can measure it up against your response.
No, I get the gist of what he's saying, but what has happened has already happened. In fact, when HQ first started this out, I think you guys got here late. I was the first person on this panel today, right, HQ?
Right.
And what did I say?
You said you'd come back in an hour.
You're right, and I'm back in almost an hour, and actually the video's still going because you stopped it a lot of times because obvious things.
Yeah, we want to have a conversation, but Triple X, as you listen to Craig now and you listen to Barack, which one is coming across as a little bit more questionable?
Look, my perspective on this is like this, man. Like neither of these guys are coming across as masculine men. Like when I just finished watching Malcolm X debate at Berkeley, compare his mannerisms, his vocal tone, his expression, his demeanor to both of these guys and report back. Now,
okay. I'm glad you said that.
Hold on.
I want to have a conversation. Go ahead.
Hold on. It's a big contrast from that to what I'm seeing from any of these two brothers. But I digress.
No. I want to have a conversation.
Go back to that too. When was that speech?
Wait, guys, because we about to jump on something. So I want to ask him a question. So do you think it's a spectrum for masculinity, or you feel like it's just one standard?
Right.
I feel like I want to let the rest of this video play. Finish. Now hold on, Emmanuel, and then I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Okay.
All right.
Let me ask you a question. I ask you again, Triple X.
Guys, we ain't gonna never finish this video, man. We're gonna be up here an hour.
Well, that's cool. I'm not gonna drag it out. I'm not gonna be long with it.
Yeah, that's about 30 more minutes, man.
It's only about 30
minutes. I just want to ask you one question. You can't answer one question.
I'm gonna answer the question after the video, man. All right.
She wants us to react.
I hear a bunch of crying niggas. Go ahead, HQ. Play the video.
Hey, about 30 more minutes of the video. Hold on.
Let's not do that, man.
30 more minutes.
Let's do that, man.
Let's go.
Don't do that.
You crying.
Find out what it is.
Right.
Something's going on with me. Let me share it. Right. That's the hardest part, at least for me.
One of the things you've both been good at is having male friend groups. And studies show that the rate of loneliness among young men and older men has gone up, which pushes them into these manosphere spaces because it's the only place they're going to find community or to talk to one another. Can you guys talk about how you both have managed to maintain friendships? What do you think is different about the way you guys have lived lives? I mean, Barack, you've maintained your friends through being in the White House, but there are a lot of men out there in the world who say that they don't have more than a couple of friends, if that.
I was in high school mostly being raised by my grandparents. Mm-hmm. And I ended up making a bunch of friends, a lot of them who were basketball players, but not all. And it wasn't until later that I realized, actually, they were all kids of divorced parents. Mm-hmm. So they're all being raised by single moms. It was almost like we kind of created our little tribe of found community, a found family. And you now know them all, Bobby, Titcomb, and Greg Orm, and Mike Ramos, and they were an opportunity for me actually to learn how to share. And what that did teach me was that having male friends I could talk to and count on was important to my life. Mm-hmm. And it turns out, actually, what we've learned is our nuclear family was healthier and happier precisely because we had a bunch of friends. And we had, essentially, non-blood aunts and uncles and cousins, play cousins and all that, who were around all the time, right? But even with my close male friends, there was a phase, when we were in our 30s and into our early 40s. First of all, we just didn't have that much money. And they were living in different places, so we couldn't see each other all the time. But we did stay in touch, and what I figured out, and that lasted through the White House, as I collected other friends and in Chicago and in college, and was just being intentional with your friendships, making the investment, knowing it's important, letting them know they're important to you, your friends, small gestures, all that stuff mattered. And I do think that guys sometimes don't do that. Like the idea is, all right, well, if you're around, we can hang out. If it happens, it happens. But
I know so many men who don't call each other. Yeah. They don't talk on a regular basis. They're best friends. And it's like, well, I saw him 3 years ago. He's my best friend.
HQ. Yeah. What is supposed to happen? What is Barack about to do that's this big cliffhanger that
they want to watch for 30 minutes?
I'm waiting to hear, him more on. I'm waiting to hear more on what
they don't want us to react, Nigel. They want us to listen for 25 minutes without.
Because to be honest, Barack has been saying the same consistent thing for quite a while. So what is the thing that he's finna say that's this big cliffhanger that's finna make him say, "Oh, he's gay"?
I don't know. We got about two. It's just
HQ. You know what I don't understand is if people wanted to watch the video, they should went over there to that podcast and watch it. We're here to react to it.
Hold on.
Right.
And so I think I have gotten better about this. And, one of the things that got me through the White House was that those same three friends that I knew, and from high school, I saw them all the time.
Yeah.
And Bobby Titcomb became was during most of the White House was a commercial fisherman in Hawaii. And Greg Orm was managing a yogurt plant in Oregon, and Mike Ramos was an accountant.
Yeah.
But the sense of trust and the memories we shared, and them having our backs, and them loving our daughters, and we set up this thing. Michelle did this. One of the best gifts I ever got for my birthday was my 50th. And it was a rough time. I was getting my butt kicked in the presidency. And she organized my 50th birthday, brought all these friends from all my different walks of life to Camp David for a weekend. And of course, being boys, we just started competing.
It was organized
and
competition.
And we had so much fun that we made it into an annual thing that we started calling Camp Athlon, even after it was no longer in Camp David. And, you get these, 12, 15 middle-aged men running around.
The numbers have grown.
Bowling or playing ping pong.
I've witnessed it.
You've seen it.
It's quite the spectacle.
It's quite the spectacle.
Yes.
But the point is just creating some structures where guys can get together, and then in stride, in the flow, now a whole bunch of stuff is shared, talked about, et cetera. That turned out to be something that mattered a lot to me. But what's been your secret to maintaining your friendships?
Pause this for a second.
It's been your last.
Yeah.
Bowling, fishing. What else did he say?
Yeah.
Ping pong.
They were doing some annual. Michelle set up something for him.
Against each other.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy. He shouldn't hang out with male friends. That's gay. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I don't think that's it. I think it may be coming up. Whatever it is coming up. So give it a minute.
It all sound boring as fuck so far. So let's hopefully they circle jerk to some shit. This shit right now so far.
You gotta watch it for 20 more minutes.
Your last point of being intentional.
Right.
And to Misha's point, I would say in the last, let's call it 7 years. So that's not long at all.
Right.
I have, because of these kinds of discussions, I have picked up the phone and called my friends more often than I had done in the past.
Right.
Woo! That was a revelation, Doug. HQ.
Let us get to the juicy part. Michelle named
25 minutes.
We want you to watch 25 minutes. No
Michelle name is Misha. We're rocking, playing ping pong and fishing. Let's get to the whatever the hell is going to happen.
We only got 20 minutes. I'm trying to get us to the point. We're trying to get us there. Hold on.
They say mute your mic for 25 minutes.
Here we go.
I know it's a lot of gay guys that's in love with me. Leave me alone.
I do. Okay.
As a mother, because she's a mother trying to figure this out. And I do think there's a question, like the original question of why do we love our sons and raise our daughters? And I think that's something worth sort of talking through among mothers, because sadly, many mothers are parenting alone, which is a huge problem. I think Scott Galloway, there are other researchers out there who say that one of the challenges that boys face is that there just aren't enough men in their lives. The men have.
Why do people have a problem with her when she don't come across as masculine to me? Why does she come across as masculine to you men? I don't get it.
I'm a little bit confused why she talking about boys when all she had was daughters.
But they were talking about helping to save boys.
Right, so they talking about a bunch of nonsense they have nothing to do with. Where's the part where he's supposed to show he's gay?
So hold on. So women supposed to love their sons and raise their daughters. Right. But it's supposed to be a male presence there. So he raised the son and he loved the daughter. So it's not like women are doing wrong by this. It's just they only given half of what the child needs to be a whole individual. Right. So women don't need to start raising their sons because they don't know how to raise. This lady told me something. This older lady, she said I can teach my son on how to be an adult. I can't teach my son on how to be a man
because she got daughters. So that's just hyperbole.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I believe the same thing. I'd be dropping them kids off.
Disappeared, whether through divorce or fatherhood. There are small numbers of male teachers in high schools. boys are growing up in an education system where they're mostly surrounded by women.
Right.
Barack, you've talked about the fact that the entire education system isn't even designed to recognize boys and what they need. So, what do we say to Emma? Because again, we don't know whether she's parenting alone or whether she has a husband. But I do think that mothers struggle to figure out what do their sons need. And so they wind up operating out of their own fears and their own instincts, which is to love unconditionally. I think mom was like this. She raised me to be tough because I think she knew what it was like to be a woman. In her mind, she knew what she was preparing me for. The insults, the limitations, the whatever you can think of, the sexism, the biases. So she knew you have to have a mouth. You have to be able to speak up for yourself. With you, she wanted you to be nice so that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't get arrested. But was that who you were? So what do we say to the Emmas of the world? How do we sort of start thinking as a society about helping mothers raise sons, because they're doing it alone, and we're being told that we don't have what it takes to give boys all of what they need?
Well, look, I think you started hinting at it. As somebody who was raised by a single mom, not perfectly, but that unconditional love as a start is the right one.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, though, thinking about raising boys in the same way you're thinking about raising daughters, which is how do you make them good, responsible people who know how to function and know how to understand themselves well enough that they can navigate this really complicated world, and setting high expectations. So there are a lot of these things that apply to boys and girls. I do think that there are some particular issues with boys that as a society we're not addressing.
Okay.
I do think as a society we have to create more structures for boys and men to have guidance, rituals, frameworks, encouragement.
Right.
To be able to meet a wide range of role models so that whatever their inclinations, they can see a path to success that isn't just sports or money, making a lot of money. And so that's on all of us together. Right. What I would say to Emma would be, in your community, even if you have a wonderful male partner who's in the house, I think it still would be good to find assets in the community, people in the community, friends in your community, places of worship, community organizations, what have you, where there are a bunch of men who can be sort of elders to boys. And so they're not just looking at one particular role model, but many. And one of the things when Michelle and I first started dating and I'd go over to your guys' house, one of the things I loved was just, seeing all your uncles and your cousins. And there were a bunch of different kinds of men. There were men that were kind of soft-spoken, and then there were men that were loud, and there were men who were engineers, and then there were men who were police officers, or they drove a jitney cab. Yeah. Right. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So that I think is creating that community. I know it's corny, but that's what they need.
And we talk a lot about what we had.
Is that the part y'all
wait. HQ, how long is this clip?
No, I'm saying that is that the part.
I'm asking you a question. How long was
you got about 15 more minutes.
No. How long is it? Can you tell me the time?
Total is 1:30. I mean 1:20.
Hour and 20 minutes. So we waited an hour and 20 minutes and said he liked a professor that was gay. You niggas is weird.
And I want to ask that question though.
Give me your take. Everybody give me your take. I give you my take first.
It'll be brief.
My take first. Hold
on. First, Pan-African mulatto, whatever you are.
This ain't your panel, nigga. Go ahead.
Hold on. Me personally, I don't see what was wrong with what he said. You need different.
He wasn't through, actually.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Go ahead.
Is he done? Is there more to it? I mean, because
play a little bit more. They want you to hear a little bit more.
Because if that's all, then I don't see what he said was wrong.
They say play a little bit more. Give him another minute. Play another minute.
Okay.
With our mother and father.
Hold on. Let it play.
Father, right? And a lot of times but we really did have a big community of people in our lives.
Right.
I mean, that we don't talk a lot about that on this show. We allude to it, but Craig and I, we grew up in a huge community of extended aunts and uncles and cousins and all types of male role models, which help in broadening out and filling in where our mother and father were limited.
So for Emma, I'm picking up a couple of things. Community, big,
huge,
not just
a single mom,
mom or mom and dad, but a broad community. And I can appreciate you using our family as an example, but uncles, but not necessarily blood
don't
uncles,
have to be blood.
but men who can who can give a kid or kids some contextualization of who their parents are.
Right. And
and
also,
what it means.
and can model. There are a lot of ways to be a responsible, respected, strong man. And you don't have to be rich and you don't have to be a professional athlete.
And you don't have to go find it on the internet among a group of unclear influences, and this is a thing that parents, Emma has to understand if her sons aren't getting it,
they'll look for it.
They are going to look for it because boys need this.
Right.
Whether they think that they're happy playing video games on their own, and we haven't even talked about how the rise in video games has sort of left kids feeling like, well, this is who I am. I'm alone, or I'm interacting through a game virtually, but I don't have any in real life friends. Kids are going to seek out some kind of community. So big community, I would emphasize, because they need to have other outlets. They have to be able to learn how to be more than just the sport that they care about.
Now, I'm looking for the big moment. I didn't see it. It sounds reasonable what he said to me. And I would have said the same thing. You need different people, different perspective. This is my example. If all I did was go into room number B and all the people in room B said Barack Obama was gay and they didn't give me no proof, I would think Barack Obama is gay. But when I went into a different room, I would think something different. They would have another different viewpoint. The whole point is to have different viewpoints to be a well-rounded human being. If all you listen to is people saying men gotta be like this, and men can't be like Barack Obama, you're going to think all men got to be like this. But I was raised in a household where I had different perspectives of men. I knew spectrums of men, whether they were gay, whether they were normal, whether they were
Hell no. Hell no.
Wait a minute, I'm not done. I'm not done. So I was raised where I had different perspectives from different men. So therefore, that is not weird to me. I don't understand what he said when you need different perspectives, why that would be weird to some people. Now,
can I go? I never.
Hold on, panel. Manuel, E, what you got to say?
Yeah, well, they
Damn, I ain't even get to say nothing at all.
Hold on, you go last because you just came on the panel last.
Shouldn't I get to speak first since everyone spoke already? But all right, family, go ahead. It's your
so the problem with what I'm seeing is people acting like he chose his professor. He chose to be around this gay dude. He literally signed up for a college class. And the college class that he signed up for happened to have be a gay professor. Right. And he said this gay professor was, even though he was gay, he was checking him on stuff he was doing that the professor felt was not proper as a man. And he said, what I'm hearing Obama saying is, hey, I'm happy that I had this man in my life to help me be able to see certain things that I was doing as a man was not positive. He didn't go out to the streets to find a gay man to do these different things. And it's like, oh, you shouldn't. I see in the chat, he shouldn't even make friends with this. This guy's a professor. If you understand college, I went to college HQ. All my professors was my friend because I wanted to pass. And if I ain't showed the class, I wanted them to know that they cared about me and I was a different student. So,
but E, did you have gay role models though? That's the question.
Hold on. All people have. What difference does it make whether they're gay or straight? You're not gay.
It makes a big difference.
Hold on. You're not gay or straight. Why are you worried about whether somebody is gay or straight? You're not gay or straight. You're gay. You're straight.
That's the point. You're not supposed to have a gay role model.
Hold on. I don't care whether the next person is gay or not. I don't give a shit. I'm not gay.
Well, that's why I asked E. Does E have a gay role model? E?
Your question is, do I have a gay role model?
Yeah, did you or do you have a gay role model? Respectfully.
I would to answer the question. I don't know. I don't get into people's sex life. Like I didn't go to like my role models and say, "Hey, check this out. Do you like men or women?"
I didn't ask you that. I'm asking. Do you knowingly have any gay role models?
I'm answering your question. Like their sexual preference does not matter to me because that's not our responsibility. That person, that man should.
Bro, I didn't ask you that though. I'm asking, did you have a gay role model?
Hold on.
I'm literally trying to answer the question you asked and you don't like it. I think if a person's gay or straight, that should have nothing to do with the person they're mentoring. They should not be trying to force them to be either. When we start talking about becoming a man, it's certain things that you need to know as a man. For example, Mr. George. Mr. George taught me how to be
brother, did you forget the question? Do you, yes or no, have a gay role model? Yes or no?
I answered your question and you just didn't like how I answered it.
Was the answer no? Just so I'm clear, was it no?
No, you wasn't listening.
He said he doesn't know.
I don't.
He doesn't know. Oh, so he may have been groomed by a gay. Okay, I get it.
Now it's grooming. You see how we gotta go to these extremes. Listen, we gotta go to these extremes because
he claiming he don't know, so he could have been groomed by a gay. Respectfully.
Groom. See, that's the whole point of when we start using words like grooming, because what we heard HQ grooming was trying to get somebody from a sexual desire, right? So this idea that I had role models in my life and I didn't care about their sexual orientation because that wasn't their purpose in my life is a crazy statement.
So that means you may have been groomed by gays unknowingly. We can move forward.
Yeah, those statements.
Wait a minute, hold on, Triple.
Okay.
It's Knight's turn. What is your thoughts on this, Knight?
I don't like the normalization of homosexuality.
Right.
I couldn't be. There's no way I could be groomed by a gay man. I had a teacher named what's his name?
Elliot. I couldn't be groomed by a gay person either.
Yeah, that's my thing. When we try to normalize homosexuality, see, my thing is, I did listen to him. His name was Terrence Elliott. Terrence Elliott used to talk to me, but he was so gay that it was kind of like, I'm not gay, so I can't relate to what you're trying to say to me. So yeah, so the normalization of and my thing with when I listen to Barack, he's talking about the normalization of homosexuality. I don't think that Barack is gay, but I think he's comfortable with having conversations with homosexuals. Michelle's brother Craig seemed gay as fuck to me. He don't seem like he's he seems like he's I can't talk like, and listen, I know some gay people in the space. I don't hate them. I don't want no harm to come to them. I just can't relate completely.
Right.
And then at the same time, I can't see myself after I come home from work not helping my fucking wife. I'm in love with that woman. She's special to me. She's not just some bitch. You niggas is weird.
Cheerful. What is your take on this? On what he said?
I'll be responding to what Obama has said and is about to say. My perspective is.
Okay. We'll let you.
Yeah. My perspective simply is, I don't think black men today, especially young upcoming black men, don't need any gay role models. You know, we don't need that. In my opinion, we don't need that promoted in the community like that on a mass scale. And considering who that guy is, what we supposed to do? Let me know. And I go ahead, HQ.
No. I'm saying you said you. I mean, I heard all of y'all say it shouldn't be promoted. I'm saying, what should we do with the gays?
No, what I'm saying, if someone decides, if they become an adult or as they're growing up, if they decide that's what they want to do, then that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna, go after anybody for their sexual orientation. That's fine or whatever. I'm saying that type of lifestyle and that type of mentorship should not be at the forefront of the community. You know, that's my take.
Pam, what do you say? What do you have to say, Pam?
Go ahead.
Yes, and I'll make it brief. It'll be one sentence.
Right.
Anytime you open the door for a LGBTQ to mentor a minor, you're literally opening the door for pedophilia and grooming. And matter of fact, I'll make it two sentences. This is my last sentence. In the beautiful island of Puerto Rico, where I live at, this beautiful mulatto metropolis, we literally just passed a law that no minor can receive sex change surgery until they are over 21 years of age. And really, we should ban it outright, but at least we put the law in that they cannot do it under the age of 21.
So, Per, do you believe that men should not mentor or talk to women at all?
It's debatable. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm trying to answer that question. My daughter, literally, I'll use her as an example. I would never allow her to have a male mentor, an adult male mentor. Hell no.
So when you say that, so you wouldn't let your daughter play any sports with male coaches, or you wouldn't let your daughter be mentored musically, like vocal coaches or chorus by a male person, correct? It have to be all females.
Yeah, you heard my response.
No. I'm asking. So you said that no men can be around your daughters from a mentor point of view.
Well, my daughter's of age now, but when she was a minor, definitely. I never allowed her to have any male mentors, no male swimming coaches, no male gymnastic coaches, no male violin coaches, etc., etc., etc.
So you was the only male in the family, is the only male that could be around your daughter.
Definitely.
Interesting.
Okay.
We got to cover our backs when it comes to our kids, man. Really, we got to protect our children.
So hold on, but let's be
Just because you're gay don't mean you have a predilection for pedophilia more than any heterosexual person.
Well, actually, they have a higher likelihood.
No, they
have
don't.
a lot. Yes, they do. Statistically, they do.
Statistically,
they do.
You told me, I done read about it. You showed me something that says that they have a higher propensity for pedophilia. Because I ain't
no.
All right, hold on. HQ. Well, let me respond to the host.
We going in different directions.
God damn.
Hold on. HQ,
can I respond to the host, brother?
Hold on. He's proven something else. Would you let your son be mentored by a woman or be around a woman and be taught by a woman?
Definitely.
So it sounds like you're saying these behaviors are male dominant when you start talking about these perverts.
No, what I'm saying is my sons have a higher propensity and ability to protect and defend themselves against a female assailant than my daughter had against a male assailant or a male potential assailant.
Hold on. So you think your son at 10 can prevent himself against a 30-year-old woman that's a predator?
First of all, when my son was 10, and this is for all my kids, when my kids was 10 years old, the only adults they was around by themselves was me and my baby mothers. First of all, but when they became teenagers, I'm trying to answer your question, brother. Do you want the answer?
Was they homeschooled up into 10?
They wasn't by themselves with their teachers. They was in a classroom with other students with their teachers. There was ever no one-on-one time between my kids and their teachers when they was minors.
You don't know that. You thinking what you get.
I definitely know that, brother.
That's wild. Let's listen. We almost.
And I was trying to respond to the host.
HQ,
I was trying to respond to you though about the likelihood.
What did
well, if I come back with the link, will you post it just for the listeners?
Yeah, I'll post it.
I'm gonna drop down right now. I'll be right back.
All right.
And while they get great skills in sports and they learn a whole lot of traits,
teamwork,
it isn't music. It's not language. It's not social art in certain ways. Right. And so I think we owe it to our boys to be very deliberate about saying enough with sports and let's try some other things.
Or at least encouraging them and exposing them to it in a way. Look, sports was scaffolding for me to pull myself into manhood. But even as I was doing that, though, my mom was still dragging me to art museums.
Yeah.
And I was still being taken to, waiting for Godot. I remember my mom took me to a Samuel Beckett play when I was like 12. And I'm kind of sitting there.
It's like, what is this about?
But you know what? I kind of got it after a while. I thought, that's interesting. I mean, it wasn't necessarily the thing I would choose to do, but the fact that I did it meant later when I was 17, 18, all right, there's something there that, may be interesting. So sometimes it's just a matter of, saying to our boys, you being interested in art and you being interested in, theater, that's cool.
I would also,
boys hearing that, that's cool.
Those are good things. So that, and I would tell Emma, don't assume who your son is going to be based on some male stereotypes of what you think he should be.
Right.
Really pay attention to who he's showing you he is.
Right. Now, Triple.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess we still ain't got to the part. Is that it?
Yeah, we got past the part. I just didn't see the the amazing.
Yeah, my main the biggest thing I had an issue with in this interview, and I seen it, and it was in its entirety, was that he was basically saying black men he's referring to, they needed more, especially young and up and coming young men. They need more black gay mentors, or just gay mentors as a whole.
What he said.
That's not what he said. Y'all interpret that crap.
Hold on, man. Damn. Hey, Emmanuel, is Obama your uncle, man?
No, I was just proud of y'all live. He didn't say that. I watched it
Go ahead and
with
say,
you.
hey,
Okay. Let him finish, Emmanuel. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Damn.
Go ahead.
No, let Emmanuel talk so I can.
No. We
go
want to
ahead,
hear
man.
we want to hear what you said. Go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay.
Triple go.
Yeah. The whole promotion of that, as a whole, was what I had the issue with. I mean, I didn't really care for the brother's demeanor as a whole in this interview, but I'm no Obama fan anyway. But I do call it down the middle. I mean, he's definitely a smart guy. You don't be able to do what he's done not being a smart guy. He's a smart guy, but there are many smart guys. So I can really go in on this, but I'm gonna concede the floor because I see a lot of people want to talk. Go ahead, man.
So I'm starting to question, first of all, why guys hear gay stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't hear that. Like I listened to this guy, and you guys actually made me try to listen. Like I was focused on trying to hear the gay stuff. And when he said it's okay for men to like art, he didn't say it was okay for black men to learn art from gay men. He didn't say that. He literally gave one gay example of his college professor, and then y'all went for it and said y'all assumed that he was talking that he should only be mentored by gay men. Like I'm starting to ask y'all guys these questions. It's like, why are y'all so infatuated with these gay men and saying, hey, check this out, he's trying to push us to be closer to gay men?
It's true. I'll put the link in the back, fam.
That's not the narrative. That's not literally not the narrative that we're talking about.
Is he your uncle, man? I'm just asking, brother.
HQ, you see the link in the back chat?
Yeah, I see it. I see the link. It's 2001. That's about 20 some years ago.
Well, at least post it for the listeners, please.
I mean, that's about 20 years ago. You got a current study. This is when bigot and biased and behavior was very much. Nobody had any idea.
You're already explaining.
Hold on.
Can you post the stats for the listeners?
Hold on. So this article is 2001. It is 2025. So do you have a more current report that says this?
Well, just so we're clear, since you won't post it, are you able to articulate what the headline?
No, I'm able to post it. I just don't.
All right. Well, can we start with that one?
Hold on.
Can we start with that article?
I just want an earlier thing because that don't sound right. Yeah, but we're not yet. We can do that after we get done with the rest.
Yeah, just for the listeners, for the information to be disseminated.
Right. Okay. Right.
Every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you.
Okay.
Internal feelings. Is that how you?
Yeah, you're
rather than when we're talking about all the traits were all external. That's one. I like that one. I like that one for Emma. I like that one for Emma.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad you like that one.
Yeah. Well, and Michelle's right that I think girls, it comes more organically to them in their social groups. But the way I describe it, and I talked to Malia and Sasha about this, is figuring out how to have a good conversation with yourself, and being open and kind to yourself, and figuring out, all right, I'm not feeling great here, and what's going on, and how can I share this, and how can I talk about it? I mean, I think that's something you want to teach all kids.
But that takes time.
But that takes and it takes some practice and encouragement.
And I would say to Emma and all parents, period, of sons, that it requires some slowing down on the part of the parent, because that stuff, that's not science. That's art. That you can't schedule that. Right. It's not a formula. You have to create space.
Right. And it's not always efficient.
And it's not efficient. It will never be efficient because kids, they don't open up on time. They're not always going to have a feeling at dinner time when you're ready.
Yeah.
So you have to create enough space, enough downtime throughout the course of a week, a month, to give kids that space to let things unfold, to let them unfold for you. And I think parents of sons have to understand that sons need unfolding in that emotional way as much as their daughters do.
Right. So we got any more bombshell revelations anywhere, or is that everything? Triple. Is that everything? Or
Let it play.
Bro, do we really gotta watch the whole thing?
I mean,
all right, well, go ahead, HQ. Goddamn.
No, I'm saying, do we have more? We got more, right? It's only about 10 more minutes.
Well, it turns out, some of these studies are showing they may need it more.
They may need it even more.
Maybe because they're not getting it reinforced in the outside world.
Anywhere else.
It does mean, though, that as men, we have to, in whatever conversations we're having with boys, sending the signal that emotional intelligence, paying attention to how other people are feeling, and also paying attention to how you are feeling, and being able to describe that and work through those things, that is a characteristic of being a grown man. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's worthwhile.
And that means that men have to practice that too.
Yeah.
And that's also a message for the fathers out there, among many things of we need more men present. That's something that studies are showing. Right. Men are not present in the lives of children, and that has is having a disproportionate impact on boys. Right. But men have to do the self-work too. Fathers, men in general, because if you're of a certain generation, we just saw it here. You guys weren't taught that. Yeah. You weren't taught how to, Barack, you read about it. You were unusual in your pursuit of it, maybe because it's the way you were raised, but a lot of men aren't aware that their ability to unpack themselves and the need to do that work is going to directly impact young boys in the world, period.
Yeah. I think you are absolutely right. I at the danger of sounding like the policy guy here, I do want to just go back to something I said earlier. Everything you said is right, and that's work men have to do. I think it's important not to divorce that work from some other stuff like men having jobs.
I totally agree. It was not an either or at all.
Exactly. But because part of what happened when we say there aren't a lot of men around.
Yes.
Part of what happened, and it happened in the Black community first,
and now it's trickling out.
Now you're seeing it happening across the board, was a lot of male identity and status was tied up with being a provider, having a job, doing a good job, coming home. And when folks started losing jobs because of deindustrialization and offshoring, and, obviously this isn't a political show, so we're not going to go down all the reasons that it happened, but it happened. And so then you had a bunch of men suddenly feeling lost because their identity had been so wrapped up in that one thing, which was being a provider. And so part of what we have to do is, as men take responsibility for figuring out how to talk about and share feelings and cultivate relationships and friendships. But as a society, we also have to make sure that men don't feel redundant and don't feel as if there's not a place for them. Yeah. And there are entire communities now where the women are more likely to be employed than the men are. And they have more avenues for supporting their families. Yeah. And that is something that no matter how much talk you engage in, if guys are feeling left out and not respected, then they're going to act some kind of way, and they're also going to pass that on to their sons. And we're making huge generalizations because in every community there are going to be exceptions.
Yeah. But before we close this out, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, the person who embodies hope, what is it what do you see as going right for young people? What are you optimistic about this future generation?
I do think that when we look at Malia and Sasha's generation, Avery's generation, we don't yet know what things are going to be like for Austin and Aaron, because they're still on the come up. But I do think this idea of men, there are many different ways of being a good, strong, successful, happy man. I think that's something that young people are more open to and recognize. And so that's promising. And we see it, when we talk to Malia and Sasha and their friends. I think that what we need to do in order to take advantage of that is to, as a society, as communities, recognize that this kind of transition from the old models that you and I, Craig, grew up on. Just like you said, you took a lot of good stuff from your dad, but then there were some modifications that just had to be made, either because of blind spots, limits, lack of resource, what have you.
The times.
Where we joke that, talking to Malia and Sasha, sometimes they go out with their friends and, they're in a group and the guy's got crocodile arms, It's like not picking up the check. And it's like, okay,
why you ain't come with some timestamps?
You don't have to pick it up.
Get right to the parts you wanted to see.
No,
why
we
you ain't
almost
come
done
with timestamps. All right, well let's just listen to the whole thing. All right,
we almost done, and I told you they only got like 5. They only got 5 more minutes.
Oh man,
they ain't got that much. I know. I asked them, was there more to be said? Was there more to be said?
Triple X, you should have brought timestamps, bro. Really.
Hey, this the thing, Mulatto. I don't know which version of this interview she pulled and where she pulled it from. I went
to Michelle's website and I got it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't send her the video, man.
So this is interesting because I hear this a lot, that men don't have spaces and they don't do this, and this is full of crap. Like, go to your local cigar lounge. I go to every Thursday. We go to the cigar lounge. There's men being vulnerable. They just don't be vulnerable in front of women because women weaponize it. Let's be honest, right? They don't tell their wife the stuff that they tell us, is because they don't want it to be weaponized later on in that conversation. So when I hear Michelle say that men don't have these spaces, no, it's just you're not invited to those spaces.
Right.
We don't invite you. So like every city I go to have a cigar lounge. Or if you go to these golf clubs and there's men sitting around smoking cigars, having conversations, being vulnerable with each other. Even I remember growing up, going to the barbershop, people was being transparent, talking about their relationship inside of the barbershop. So men have these spaces, and I'm saying, when I say men, I'm talking 75% of the men. We do have a men that's isolated, incels, 25% of the men population. Right. They are alone, but that's because they choose to be.
And Knight just brought up a great point, and really I think a lot of the panelists are trying to avoid the elephant in the room. Knight he articulated it very well. Obama is attempting to normalize homosexuality, and my point is that when we open the door for the normalization of homosexuality, we're literally opening the door for pedophilia and grooming. That's why I put the stat in the back chat of the LGBTQ people have a higher propensity of committing SA.
Don't start spreading rumors.
We'll keep posting the stats.
You gave me an article from 2001.
So that means it's not a rumor.
Hold on.
Hey,
we all have to agree. Wait a minute. Hold on. We have to all agree that as you get older, you get more facts and you become more informed about the subject. Now, don't you think we would have became more informed about the subject from 2001 all the way up until now, because there's still a lot of people up here saying that it's still a lot of people out here saying, no, they choose to be gay. Why the hell would I choose to be ridiculed, talk crazy to, be shunned by the community? Why would I choose to do that?
Well, HQ, why are you suppressing the information though?
Hold on. Nobody chooses to be ridiculed, called names, talked about, downgraded, talked to like they ain't no person.
That's a deflection. I said nothing about choosing to be gay.
That.
But I didn't bring that up.
Nobody would choose that. Stop.
That's a deflection.
Stop.
I didn't bring that up.
Nobody would choose that. You keep saying people choose to be gay. Nobody would
choose when did I say that? When did I say that?
Somebody choose that.
No, I'm asking, when did I say that?
Hold on. I didn't say you.
You did say me. No, you're not listening to yourself?
I said you brought that article up.
Exactly. So why are you suppressing the information?
I'm saying most people would not choose to be.
That's a different discussion.
Yeah, but I'm making it. So be
all quiet. Right. So why are you suppressing the information that I put in the back chat though? And
anything.
You asked me to go.
I'm not suppressing anything.
You asked me to go get it.
Wait a minute. Didn't me and you had a discussion. Me and you had this discussion, right? When you get on my nerves, I'm gonna kick you off my panel.
Yeah, when you're wrong, you kick me off the panel.
Stop doing it. Stop doing it. You got to get kicked off the panel because you become annoying. And then I would get pissed off. But my whole point is nobody would choose that. Nobody chooses that. That's something you choose. They choose to be talked about like that. So my point of view is they ain't choosing that. So if you're not choosing that, and it's 2001, this article he brought up, and I'm gonna bring up his article because it don't make sense to me that you would bring me an article that says that you would bring me an article that's 20 some odd years ago trying to make a point. Bring me a current article that says that. Bring me a current article that says what you say it's saying, but that's not what it's saying. It's saying this is the article. Do you see this article right here? Do you see this portion right here? That's 2001. Bring me
Baptist Press.
Bring me an article that says 2024, 2023, that supports exactly what you say. But in this article is debunked. What does it say? Gay men aren't more likely to sexually abuse boys. That's what it says in the article. What are you talking about? Okay. So I'm saying bring me a current article. Don't bring me garbage that disputes your point. Even though that's the heading on the article, it goes on to debunk what this is. It goes on to debunk this title. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Because I read the article as we were listening to Obama. I read the article and it debunks what it's saying. I'm saying bring me an article in 2020.
He didn't read it. He just read the headline. Because I've been reading the article. I'm like, why is he saying what he said? The article don't allow what
I mean, but then again, you got to think, okay, then you go into I read the article and then I went and then I Googled more articles to see if I heard that. And then I Googled 2 or 3 more. And then I went into Grok, that AI thing that, what's his name? That rich guy. I forgot his name. Elon Musk invented. I went into his thing and then I put the whole article in there. And then a Grok person came back and said, this article has been debunked. All of the stuff in this article has been debunked. So why are you bringing me an article that has been debunked by leading scholars, psychiatrists, sociologists, and all that? You can't bring up the stuff that you just want to bring up now. You got to be factual with the stuff you're bringing up, okay? Back to we almost done. We almost done. Don't be mad, y'all. We almost done, okay? We almost done. Because I think it's about 2 more minutes.
It up all the time. But if you're never picking it up,
right,
that's a problem.
Says something about you,
if you're never opening a door or pulling out a chair, because that's just common courtesy. That's just being kind, right? So,
Ty, you got to come up because I don't understand. Yes, he did invent Grok. That's his own personal thing.
For those of you who do not have sons, so Emma, we are rooting for you because those of us with daughters,
we need good men.
We've got to have good guys out there,
right?
Not necessarily to get married, but to make sure that what we're learning, I think, is that when we don't think about boys and just assume they're going to be okay because they've been running the world and, you know, they've got all the advantages relative to the girls, and all of which has historically been true in all kinds of ways. But precisely because of that, if you're not thinking about what's happening to boys and how are they being raised, then that can actually hurt women. And I would argue that some of the broad political trends we've seen, not just in this country, but around the world, have to do with this sense of, you know, boys, men not feeling as if they are seen, feeling as if they count. Mm-hmm. And that then makes them more interested in appeals by folks who say, you know what, the reason you don't feel respected is because women have been doing this, or this group has been doing this, or that group's been doing this, and that is not that's not a healthy place to be. And I will say, as quote unquote progressives, Democrats, progressive parents, enlightened ones, we've made that mistake sometimes in terms of our rhetoric, where it's like we're constantly talking about it, you know, what's wrong with the boys instead of what's right with them. We rightly have tried to invest in girls to make sure that there's a level playing field, and then they're not barred from opportunities. Right. But we haven't been as willing, I think, to be intentional about investing in the boys, and that's been a mistake. And I think people are starting to recognize that. So going back to your optimism, I think there's a healthier conversation taking place now, both among this new generation of young women and men, but also among the public at large that's starting to see like, hey, you know, we got to do better by our boys. And if we do better by our boys and we're producing stronger, more confident men, that's going to be good for our girls and our women as well.
Mm. Is that it, y'all? Did we hear enough? Did we hear a good portion of Obama saying that we should be supporting our boys just like we're supporting our women? Ty, Triple X, sir.
Yes.
Yes. You said you had more to say once the video was almost over. The video is almost over. It's like 1 minute.
Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with Obama pushing the agenda. That's my take on it. I didn't care for the interview. I'm no Obama fan. You know, my position is my position on that. You know,
wait a minute. That's where I'm at. I mean, why do you not like Obama? What happened to Obama?
Well, my whole thing is too, and this will go further back and beyond the interview, but you know, the way he, like, you know, the history of this guy, the way he came into the community, like if you listen to Obama, right, when he first started running for the presidency and listen to his rhetoric and his speeches, it sounded like something from Jason's the Black Authority, the Black Channel, you know? And then if you look at what actually happened, and where he went with things, and once he got elected, how he went about things, it was in the complete opposite direction. So he pulled on the heartstrings of Black America, and that's one of the main reasons they got behind him. So
wait a minute. You said that he changed his rhetoric. What do you mean? He sounded the same from the time I first started listening to him until he got elected. How did he change his rhetoric? What do you mean?
No, what he did was he came in, he was talking a lot of good things. He was referencing a lot of like Dr. King stuff and equality. And he was saying all the flowery good things. And then when he was elected, stuff like Trayvon Martin, a whole other tons of things that happened. Too much. I'm not gonna stay up here like, you know, a whole 2 hours and break it down. Tons of things happened over the course of 2 presidencies. He had little to nothing to say and little to nothing to do about any real black issues. So it was all a scam. You know?
So you were one of those people who thought Obama was gonna get up here and say, "I'm finna help the black community."
Nope. I did not think that. However, I thought what his approach when you come in with that position and all of that, my whole thing is like, well, let's see what he's going to do. He's come in, he's talking a good game, just like you meet a guy. He's talking a good game, he look good to you. You like what you see so far, but you like, let me see what this guy gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay.
HQ.
Hold on. So what you saying is Obama was talking to black-ish.
He wasn't
at the beginning, and then he changed when he got in the White House, and then he wasn't doing ish like he said he was on the campaign trail. That's what you saying?
He lied.
Well, hold on.
Because I don't recall Obama saying nothing about.
Hold on. It's deeper than that. Okay. I could really go in on this. I really don't want to go do that right now, HQ, because it's going to derail what we got going here, man. We focusing on the video.
But you got
but HQ wasn't about what Obama said. He never said he was going to do something for black people.
Of course he didn't say it specifically.
What black people saw, it was like, ooh, that's a black man. So they assumed that he was going to do something for them because he was a black man, a darker skin. That was the only thing. He never got him. Pull up the tape. You like dropping stuff in the back chat. Show me the tape that he said he was going to do this for black people, that for black people. He did not run his campaign that way.
No, he never. Of course, he never said those things specifically. But if you come in a game, you're talking you're talking a good game. You're referencing all of these things, and you're talking about these things. Why, if you don't have any intent?
Yeah,
of these things, why are you referencing these people?
I don't
think it don't make any sense.
I don't think he ever said anything about I'm going to exactly help black people to do X, Y, and Z.
No, of course, he never said that specifically. He never said that specifically.
So why did black people think he was going to help black people?
Why do you think they thought that, HQ?
I think they thought that because they were delusional when they thought that. You don't have. I don't expect a politician to come in there and say, "Oh, y'all black people, I'm finna help all y'all black people, but we ain't gonna help the white people. Let me help all y'all black people." I didn't never think that he was gonna do that. I never thought he was gonna do that. Just like when what's her name, Miss Harris said, "Oh no, I'm not gonna help all the black people. I'm gonna help everybody." I understood when she said that too.
And that was a lie.
because you can't go into no White House and expect to just help.
Yeah, he never would have been elected. Look, I get it. If he would have came out and said,
but he
that
never would have said it anyway.
He never. Yeah, anybody that come out and say that specifically is not going to be president.
So why did everybody get up in arms? And to this day, I hear people say he never did anything for black people.
Well, HQ. Like I said, if you come into the game, look, HQ.
He didn't come into the game. You keep saying he came into the game like he came into the game and said he was doing something for black people. He didn't.
HQ. If I'm gonna keep getting interrupted, I'm not gonna talk it. Do you want me to say what I'm gonna say? Can I? Let me know when I can talk, and I'm gonna tell you.
I get my assessment on the video.
I'm gonna give you the analogy. Hey, Emmanuel, man.
Okay.
Relax, brother. Relax.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you my assessment on the video.
Let him talk. Triple, go ahead. Let him talk.
When can I talk about the video? Because I want to get my final assessment.
Okay, finish what you got to say, Triple, and then we talk about the video.
All right. Like I said, and I feel that's an excellent analogy. Look at it like this. If a man meets a woman and the woman is excited about that guy, he's a great looking guy, he's a 9, he's making a lot of money, he's showing interest, she's very excited about this guy. The reality is he's going through the motions, but he hasn't made any promises yet. But in a lot of instances, it's going to be a lot of assumptions made, even though he ain't gonna came out and said, "Hey, you're the one. I'm buying you a ring. Let's be in a relationship." He ain't said none of that stuff yet. However, he's talking a good game. He's going about things right. He's invited her out to some dates. They're having a ball. Everything's going good. It's a lot like that on how that whole situation was played. Okay. Okay. No promises was made. No promises was made.
It was assumed. It was
Yeah,
assumed.
it was assumed. It was assumed.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me say this one thing. Isn't this the problem that a lot of men have? She assumed I liked her. She assumed I wanted a relationship with her. She assumed, but I told
you're 100% right. Yep.
That's right. Why I said it was an excellent analogy. But he did come into a lot of blacks. Here's one other thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna drop the mic. He did come into a lot of black spaces talking this talk, you know. So that's a part of it. Now that he's out of office, he won't reappear in black spaces. I wonder why that is. I digress.
That's not true. Hey, hold on.
Can you post the links? Can you post the links to the videos? Hey, since he's been out,
I got you.
Wait a minute, man. Post the links.
Y'all can talk about it.
Hold on. Post what links?
Post the links.
What links? Where?
No, I'm saying tell this guy, since he's saying what I said ain't true, post the links to all of the black platforms he's been on since he's been out of office.
Oh, okay.
So what we see, HQ, in this video, in this interview, this is a panic. They said, hey, I got daughters, and I'm not seeing any suitable options for my daughter. Maybe as a country, we really messed up. Maybe us putting women first and actually forgetting about our black boys have actually hurt this country more than it helped our country. So now they say, we realize as an administration, we realize from a generation that we have to put black boys first. And what they're doing is they're trying to inform the watchers that the next generation don't make the same mistake. I don't know how they pulled the he's gay and all this stuff, and he only wanted you to be mentored by gay men. And that was just a crazy stretch. But what they're realizing is America have realized, especially black boys, we have been put last. And for this country and the situation to be fixed, you got to put black boys first for the next 10 generations. The question is, can people are women willing to let that happen?
Right. That's a serious point. Yeah, Ty.
Thank you for playing this video for us to react to. I told you spur of the moment about it, and you played it, and I appreciate that for sure. I appreciate you making these very low attention span having dudes up here sit and wait so we can actually talk about the whole discussion in totality. And nobody said Obama said we need all black, all gay mentors. And brother, you sound very effeminate, like you had a few gay mentors, but that's neither here nor there. The point of it was that when you listen to the whole interview, the basic foundation was masculinity, how it looks, the different forms of it, and how it's being neglected. When I first came on this panel, I said there is an attack on traditional masculinity because it is. And some of what Obama said at the end is speaking to that attack on traditional masculinity, because this country is not. Obama spoke on putting the girls first, but it's not just putting the girls first. And his presidency led the wave of not only putting women first, but putting the LGBTQ plus YZ community first, feminizing and softening men. And then, as we've been seeing the last 5 years or so, making traditional masculinity the enemy. And we see it all through media. We see it. Everything that a traditional men have multiple women, that's biting everybody in the ass. Older men with money talking to younger women traditionally for years, that's biting. Like, there is subtle attacks. Not saying all of that stuff is that we see is right, and some people are doing foul things, but a lot of this stuff is just having a ball sack full of testosterone being under attack. That whole conversation of women rather being in the woods with a bear, this whole conversation of what is a man, what is a woman, all of this stuff stems from Obama and what he did as a president. So when you put that on him, you put the way he's sitting there, you put him having a gay mentor, and the fact that he was able to push whatever agenda he wanted to the people. Yes, people are going to go back and say, this motherfucker not only is pushing the gay agenda, he's probably gay. And then you take the masculinity of his wife, and not saying she's just been outright calling him a B word, but she has been disrespecting him. And the only people that will see that she's disrespecting him are traditional masculine men. So this conversation not for guys who talk like Eve with a lot of S's. This conversation not gonna be for guys who too feminine to just sit there and be quiet. This conversation not gonna be for guys who can't bump chests and cuss at each other and be cool, because y'all not traditional masculine. You speak about a spectrum of masculinity. Well, guess what? On one end of the spectrum is tough masculine men. On the other end of that spectrum is
Right.
soft, weak men. That's the spectrum.
Right. Right. And the whole point is women are preferring that middle ground. That's where we're having the issue. Women are preferring that middle ground.
I bet.
There's some women who like the ultra masculine, and there's some women who like the soft men. It's a spectrum, just like you all say.
That's not true, because
that's a half truth though.
Everything a woman do, every time a man do something, she gonna call him gay. She gonna call him zesty.
Can I speak?
My bad.
I let you speak.
My bad.
Just like there's a spectrum of men, from weak as you call them to the ultra masculine men, there is a spectrum for women. You all don't prefer the ultra masculine female, but there are ultra masculine females. You all prefer the submissive X, Y, and Z all the way down to the cowering in the corner type female. Most of y'all pick the ones in the middle. Same thing with women. The most of us pick men in the middle. Yes, we appreciate the ultra masculine men, but we also appreciate men like Obama, who are a little bit more cerebral. So
that's completely untrue.
Yeah, that's cap.
It depends,
because it wouldn't be an epidemic of calling men zesty if that was true. HQ, I'm sorry, beloved.
What do you mean, Z calling men zesty? What?
No, I said
there's a spectrum. Men
I said it's untrue. It's not true.
Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true.
Your husband, hold on.
Yes, it is true.
Your husband,
hold on.
Was a garbage man and a CO.
Yes.
He was a masculine man.
Okay.
Women pick masculine men. Women don't run around picking Michael Jackson and Prince. They like them because of the fame, yes. But most times, a woman is not picking.
Hold on. Let's hope we're not talking for females, because if you're talking for female, I'm the only female up here, so I know why we pick men. And I already explained to you why we pick men.
Because they don't pick those type of guys.
Obama would not have been picked if they didn't pick him. They pick him. So there's a spectrum of men. There's a spectrum of women. And it depends on what you're attracted to. You can't just say we're all attracted to hardcore men, because I'm not just attracted to hardcore men. I'm attracted to men like Obama too. So I run this. It's a spectrum of what I may or may not like, depending on the day.
Can I ask you a question, HQ? Are you attracted to the way his diction, his poise, his position of power? Or are you attracted to him as a man?
No, I would be attracted to his mental state.
Okay, so that's not being attracted to a man.
I don't like light-skinned men, but I like the way.
Exactly. Because I seen you on that one of your shorts. You tore that little boy up because he had skinny legs and he had on girly shoes. You didn't like the way he dressed and all of these things. He didn't look like. Hold on. He didn't look like a man to you, like a real man to you. So what I'm saying is, HQ, women do not pick those type of men for dating, mating, and relationships.
I'm
They
telling
pick
you, they
the
do.
knuckle.
I'm telling you,
They
they do.
pick the knuckle draggers
They don't
like
put the
Fee,
knuckle draggers all the
and
time. They pick different
hey, they
types.
picked the knuckle draggers like Fee, Ty Pro, and me and Lex that say B
That's
word, be quiet.
not all women. Not all women. I'm just telling you, not all women. What do you mean?
HQ.
We are not all women
You
think
picked
like
them.
that.
You picked them, HQ. Look who you
Yeah,
had.
Yes,
but I've also dated men like Obama. What do you mean?
yes. But this is the whole thing about it, and then I'm gonna let everybody talk. This is the whole thing about it. HQ, we're all looking for a woman like you that's gonna stay with us, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the happy, the sad. You see what I mean? So you are not every woman, HQ. I'm sorry, you're not. Every woman is not going to stay and endure with us the ups and downs with us like you. We're all looking for a woman like you, HQ. And I think that's a mic drop. Boom.
There's plenty of women out there like me. There's plenty of women out there like me.
HQ.
Actually,
Sorry.
it's not.
Yeah.
My bad, Triple. My bad. Go ahead, brother.
No, you got it, Ty Pro. Go ahead, man.
Go Ty. Go Ty.
HQ. This
Yeah.
whole adding fluidity to masculinity and femininity is bull crap. Because when you start saying it's a spectrum, yes, there is room in masculinity
Yes.
for a guy to be an office worker and a guy to be an oil rig worker. But the respect isn't going to come if that office worker is scared to kill a spider. No real woman is going to respect him as a man. Being a man and being masculine and having masculine traits is all around the board. There is not too much room in that. Being feminine and a feminine woman is all around the board. There's not too much wiggle room in that. What y'all call the strong black woman isn't a spectrum of femininity. That's a woman who has masculine traits. Being a soft man isn't a spectrum of masculinity. That is a man with feminine traits. And we in Obama and all his policies on top of the society that this PC culture that we moved in, it's all an attack on making men and masculinity be more withdrawn. Being that tough guy is a problem. Toxic masculinity, which is a falsehood that does not exist. Toxic, you can either be a bad man or a good man. But being a man and being masculine, it's not this room. It's not
You gotta
autism.
make room. You gotta make room for the fact
So
that there's masculine and then there's not so masculine men.
they're
It's
feminine.
the
That's
men.
Yeah,
the
they're
No,
feminine.
the
feminine.
That's all
men in
the
the
Masculinity is
middle.
feminine
absolutely.
man.
Look, here's the truth: the men and the women in the middle are the ones that produce results better.
But that's
They are
not
the
the
one. They
middle.
are the
That
ones
is
who
what
get
it
married.
is.
They're the ones that get married the most. They're the ones that have more success, more successful relationships. It's just the people in the middle. It is what it is. People like Obama in the middle. Most of
No.
them
Okay.
get married more than a. Well, who do you think?
Women, for the most part, don't even want those guys. Obama
Women
was going somewhere. Yeah, if an effeminate man is going places,
He's
and
not
it
an
makes sense
effeminate
from a
man.
business perspective, I'm not saying he is. I'm using it as an example. Then a woman might roll with that, but it's generally not her first priority and choice. And HQ, I want to push back on something you said earlier.
I would have my first choice if I had a first choice, or if I thought to date somebody today, he would probably be like more like Obama than he
You
would.
will run over that man, HQ. Stop it.
And no woman want no man that she can run over.
That's what
I
I'm
wouldn't.
Say
I
it
saying.
all
wouldn't
the time.
know. A woman want to have a partner. She wants a partner. She don't want nobody. Hey man, I'm a caveman. No woman wants that.
Hey, HQ,
Wait a minute.
hold on.
Hold on. What
All
type
right.
of women? If women are leaving at 70%, what type of women? What type of men are they married to?
Hey, if a
That
couple
dude,
dudes ran up on you,
If they married to the He-Man, why are they leaving those He-Men? Why are people pushing back on the red pill commentary, the red pill rhetoric. Why are they pushing back on that?
Hey, HQ, let me hit you with
Can I
this.
answer that?
The red pill is not, hold
Can-
on. Because the red pill rhetoric is not in the middle. And most people are in the middle, and that's where most people will get married and find successful relationships. When people are not on the extreme end, X, Y, and Z. The he-man type man is more on the extreme, and the effeminate man is on this end. Most people sit in the middle. Most people sit in the middle. And so most people get married from the middle.
No. And one
okay,
other go
okay,
ahead.
go Triple X. Okay, so this is the thing, HQ. I know you say it's a spectrum, right? And I'm going to tell you, no, there isn't a spectrum, right? If a man can't change your tire and your car breaks down, you are cutting that man loose on the dot, right? You're not going to hang out with that guy. Men normally don't have, let's say, friends, male friends who are like other men. I'll say it like that, right? That's not something that men do. You're not going to hang out with a guy that likes other guys. You're not going to do that. So, and if you've had a sexual encounter, all of us men that are straight, right? We look at a man who has touched another man in a sexual manner. That man died. That man is now a man who likes other men. We don't see it the way you see it. I understand what you're saying. It's a spectrum, to each their own and all of that stuff. That's just not the way that guys see it, though. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, nobody is going to marry somebody who is almost. Wait a minute. We can agree that one end of the spectrum is very effeminate men. Most people ain't going over there. Most people are going to stick shy away from that end. Just like on this end, you have the brutish, masculine, red pill raging human being. Most women are not going over there. Most people are staying in the middle. It's just a fact.
All women are going over there, HQ. You think Fresh and Fit ever had a problem with getting women? What about Tate? All of these guys are getting women, HQ.
I'm not saying they're not.
Like that.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying you can't dismiss the men in the middle because women like the men in the middle too. Y'all keep saying women only like
not for dating though. Not for dating in relationships and mating, HQ. They don't. That's cap.
I keep telling y'all, don't speak for women.
Don't speak for women. And if those guys don't have extreme benefits or upward trajectory, they're not going to entertain those guys.
HQ, they pick the softer men when they have to. They pick the softer men when they have to. They pick the men
still pick the softer men regardless.
When they have to, and they still have an attraction for the. And you keep saying in the middle. In the middle is balance of masculinity and being in your masculine frame. Because if you too aggressive and you just out here out of control, that is a trait of femininity. Having stoicism is the supreme standard of masculinity. That's what you were referring to.
Oh, you mean to tell me that 70% of women are leaving?
I mean to tell you what I'm saying. You trying to conflate the points by adding in divorce when we can have.
I'm asking you. You said it that all the women are picking these masculine men. So you mean to tell me they leaving all these masculine men?
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Divorce.
HQ, let me say this. You said women like you are common, right?
Yes.
I disagree, and you know why? And I'm going to prove you wrong. 78% of women are filing for divorce. So they not like you. All right?
Yeah, but why are they filing for divorce?
HQ, don't do that. You don't
It doesn't matter. You stayed.
Don't do that.
You stayed through arguments. You
Yup.
stayed through telling him he needs to get out. You
Yup.
stayed through all types of shit, HQ. They're leaving because they have a weak countenance. That's why they're leaving.
No, but he was a reasonable person that I could speak to, that I could talk to. Because when I went to him with a problem or an issue, he would say, I understand you need to calm down. Now speak to me like this. And therefore therefore I was able to articulate whatever problem I had, and he had a solution. And it wasn't an unreasonable solution. But some of these people have unreasonable solution. Like when we were talking about a woman staying home and cooking and cleaning. Fee said, I only had to stay at home without working when I got pregnant. Other than that, he didn't give a shit when I worked. He didn't give a shit what I did. He didn't give a shit.
So was that masculine or feminine that he did?
It was just what he did. That's just what he did. A masculine.
So yes, it was masculine because he was protecting you while you were pregnant. I don't think you see it how men see it. And that's what I'm saying. It's not a problem, but you don't see it how we are actually envisioning it, HQ. You don't.
I mean, you all say that Obama is not the common guy?
HQ, you trying to conflate what you just described in your husband is the masculinity that we talking about. And you trying to make it seem like we saying masculinity is just you better be covered in like something out of the Arab lands or something. We not saying that. What you described in your husband is what we saying. That's a trait of masculinity, being able to make decisions and leadership decisions for your family and your household. Working if I'm working all day and I got you in the house taking care of the crib, and I'm preserving my energy when I get home, and I'm gonna play with the kids, I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and if you really need some help, you can come and talk to me and we'll talk about it. But the standard is you take care of the house and I'll take care of the work and bringing the bread in. That's masculinity. It's not you making it seem like what we saying masculine is the extreme form, and that nobody is saying that.
I'm saying the red pill raging is the middle.
But
I said most of y'all
those aren't masculine men. Red pill raisers aren't masculine men. Those are men who then went through some emotional things, and now they got the information to be masculine, but they didn't have the raising of being masculine. They just got a crash course of it, and now they're going out of control.
Right.
What's the extreme right in though? What's the extreme?
So this is a better way of saying it. I believe that all men are bad, right? As men, we are all horrible. We are all have the inclinations to do horrible things. But those things have to be harnessed in certain ways. They have to be focused in certain ways because we don't get sad. When we get sad, all little boys know, right? You watch little boys fight, it's going to be one little boy who is crying and he's fighting. It's because he is so angry that he is sad and it turns into anger. But those things need to be harnessed, HQ. If those things aren't harnessed and focused in the right direction, then it'll just come out haywire. That's why we say that emotional men are dangerous. Emotional men are bad men because if somebody is so emotional, they're not going to be able to focus it in a certain direction, and they're going to do horrible things.
Here's the thing.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Here's the thing. Most of us fall into the middle of that. We may be on a one end or the other, but we mostly fall into the middle because it's an extreme on one end or the other. There's nothing wrong with being on one extreme or the other. I picked somebody that was in the middle but he was more on that end. He was more on the right hand side, the more masculine end.
He wasn't in the middle. He was a CEO. He was a CEO. That's a tough ass job being around a bunch of criminals.
Y'all making it sound like an asshole. He wasn't.
He was. I've been to jails and prison all over the country.
He wasn't an asshole to me.
And you know what? And that's what women like. They like men. They like men that are mean to everybody else but them. Women love that. I want you to be an asshole to everybody in the world but me. And that's what you had. You had a knuckle dragger. You somebody that's on the back of a garbage truck HQ.
Yeah.
Somebody that was a CO HQ.
Yeah.
That is a man's man. That's a 12-hour shift, 5 and 6 days a week with overtime, sometimes every day. You can't tell as a man looking at other men.
I'm saying that's not a bad thing. If that's normal,
that is a masculine man.
That's a man.
That is a
masculine man.
That is a super masculine man.
Yeah. And masculine men don't even like effeminate men. We don't hang around.
I know that. I've had many discussions with Feed about that. Yes.
We don't be around softer dudes.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Ty. 1 second. You had conversations with the man you loved, trusted, and had children by, telling you that he don't want to be around people like that, but all of us are wrong. God,
right.
Damn it.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I can understand them. I'm more tolerant of it. He was never tolerant of it. But I understood his side of it when he said, keep them funny people away from him, right? He would say that. He would say something else, but I ain't finna say that on camera, right?
Right, because it's wild.
Because he would say something else. And I'd be like, you gotta have a little bit of patience. And he'd be like, I don't give a F. I don't have nothing to do with peanut butter niggas. And just he would say some weird shit.
You see how me, Triple X, and Black America can talk. We can have respect for each other and have all of us are on the more masculine side. We all got different walks of life, but we're masculine men, so we have a respect for each other because we can recognize how to navigate with each other. Right. We ain't nobody up here disrespecting you as a woman, but you see how I was talking to the more effeminate fellas that was just up here on the panel who are being emotional, being pushy, cutting you off, trying to run your show, trying to get to the point. This is boring. Or talking with a whole bunch of S's in their words. I don't even know why you need all them S's when you talking. We don't respect that. We don't. And women don't either. Because masculine respects femininity. Right. Femininity respects masculine, but masculine men don't respect feminine women. That spectrum shit is bullshit. You either masculine in the man or you not. When you growing up, you like, dang, dog.
Yeah,
soft.
but look at this.
I don't mess with him. He's soft.
Yeah, but look at this.
If we get jumped, he gonna run.
Yeah, but look at this. Michelle's brother. Don't he seem more feminine?
That man had meat in his mouth before.
Okay. Obama ain't like that.
And Obama put his meat in the man mouth before. I could bet money on that.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna say about Michelle's brother is this, right? I know that I've met Barack. I've met Barack and Craig on several occasions, right? And the thing about Michelle's brother is he was a coach, and he was a coach to women, right? So when you deal with women on a large scale like that, it's like me and Ty Pro. If me and Ty Pro went to work in an office setting with a bunch of women, we'd both be up on sexual harassment charges in maybe a week, right? We'd be fired. They'd be suing the company, right? Because it's just true. Because we'd be looking at asses. We'd be trying to see. panty lines, we looking at bras and nipples. We are looking at all of that the whole time. So when you have a man like that who deals with a bunch of women and young girls like that, they have to tone it down. They have to be able to work and interact with women on a large scale. Other men, most of us men are blue collar men, HQ. You can't work on an oil rig or be a firefighter or something like that. It just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So that's why he seems really low key, because he works around a bunch of women all day. And Barack Obese, I'm telling you, that dude is cool as a fan. I ain't never had a bad interaction with him, and he like to hoop. He's just a guy, but
Barack
in
Obama.
front of everybody, he's a politician.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, a night. Are you still there, Night?
Night fell asleep.
Oh, he must fell asleep. Oh,
Night
He would
ran.
have been interrupted.
He always fall asleep. Every panel he go on, he fall
I've
asleep.
never had him on the panel. I had never had him on the panel. I've talked to him once or twice.
You know he wouldn't have been able to go this long and not say nothing.
Yeah.
Facts.
Night, wake up, Night. No. Yeah. So I mean, it was a good video. I mean, I just don't see him as, I see him somewhere in the middle, somewhere between Craig and then masculine or really masculine man. I see Obama in the middle somewhere. I don't see him as gay. I mean, I just see him as normal, whatever. He's on the same level as Russell Wilson to me.
Hey, HQ.
Yeah.
Hey, let me say this. You know, Black America makes a great point. Everybody up here made great points. But I say this. I always find this funny. And I know some of the most ultra feminist, men hating like Caucasian ladies.
Yeah.
And even Asian girls like that.
Right.
And I look at dudes that they're actually like married to or date. It'd be like the most ultra masculine guy. The guy looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger from Terminator 2 when he was on the motorcycle. You know?
Thank you.
Right. And it's like,
thank you.
You're pro Cabana Bussy Boys, and you're dating this guy who looks like the white Kimbo Slice on a motorcycle, covered in tattoos.
Because you can never tell for attraction. There's a lot of
well, that's what's important.
Because I had a coworker
something that you wouldn't fool
right.
with.
I had a coworker tell me. I asked him one time a couple of years ago. I said, "Why you get that girl pregnant?" I said, "Why you get her pregnant?" He said, "Well, I want her to be my baby mama." I was like, "Yeah, but you like strippers. But you like strippers." He was like, "Yeah, but I don't want to have no baby by no stripper. So I'm gonna get her pregnant and she gonna have my baby. But I really like strippers and I'm gonna go back to my strippers."
Men is a little bit different. You know, I don't really want to open that can of worms because we'll be up here a while.
The
women,
like
with the women, I see that all the time. Go ahead, Ty.
The women we like to have fun with and the women we know we want to co-parent with are two different women. And to speak on what Lex just said, that was an excellent point. I was trying to tell HQ earlier. White women and other races of women embody all of that feminist stuff because that's their way of acting out and lashing out. But they will be with that Terminator 2 looking dude in the kitchen, at the crib, cooking, being submissive and all of that. Black women co-opted that movement and they try to replace the masculinity and be the men. As much as the feminist white women scream and yell that feminist stuff, they don't really embody that in their home life. And that's why you can see that when you look at their personal life. And they have a better rate of marriages and working stuff out and doing what they're going to do because at the end of the day, feminine women going to be attracted to masculine men. If feminism was that prevalent, they'd be marrying a whole bunch of dudes with the bent wrists and saying a whole bunch of S's when they talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those will be the new it guys.
Everybody
chasing the rappers, athletes, and guys with money. They will put those guys down and chase Cabana boys.
They'd
And
be
they're not
chasing a
doing
whole
it.
bunch of soft little bussy bandits. They'd be with a whole bunch of bisexual dudes and open marriage. We would see that in reality, and we don't.
Right.
But you know what we do see in reality? A lot of single black women, because they co-opted that movement, they became aggressive and masculine. And the men who are masculine men know that we have a choice between women, and we don't see what we want to take home and marry because you're too masculine for that. But we can be out here winning because y'all all love masculine dudes.
Ain't this about nothing? Well, hey, look, y'all talking me down to it. I get it, but I still think Obama wasn't. I could see where you think Obama pushed the agenda. I could see that when you get a president. No, see, but here's the thing: this president right now made it known that he was sympathetic to those racist motherfuckers, and now you got them coming out the woodwork.
So look,
so then Obama made it clear that he was friendly with the gay people, and then you had all the gay people coming out of there. So it's the same thing.
Hold on, look, Trump.
No, it's not the same thing.
Hold on, let me say this real quick. Bro. Trump. Okay, we could look at Trump and say, from his personal life, he might be an underlying racist. So when he becomes president, he's promoting racists because in his personal life, he might be a racist. But that's how we looking at Obama when you take this interview, the agenda he pushed, his mannerisms, what they say he put in his book, all of these things. We can say, oh, no wonder he pushed LGBTQ agenda because he's LGBTQ in his personal life. That's where the whole thing come from.
But we don't have any proof of that, so we can't.
But we got as much proof of that as we do that Trump racist.
No.
I ain't never heard him say the hard ER.
I believe that Trump is racist. I believe that Trump is racist. But this is what it is, HQ. When Obama uses a word, because I listened very well to the whole interview, right? When he uses a word like men with different, and this was in there. He said men with different inclinations.
Right.
There is no difference in the inclinations. When me, Ty Pro, and Lex go into a men's restroom, we all, if it's room, we're not going to be peeing right next to each other, HQ. We're not. It's just because that's not what men do. We're all taught if it's a stall in the middle, you go in the middle and you don't pee right next to another man. It's certain things that men are taught, and these are things, this is how we grow, and this is how we learn. We don't learn by different inclinations of men. So that was something I picked up on. And
what he was saying was you grow by having different viewpoints, regardless of whether that's a gay viewpoint, a regular viewpoint, an engineer viewpoint, a doctor viewpoint. You grow by having different viewpoints. That's what he was saying.
I can understand.
He wasn't pushing a gay agenda. He just said, "You think you have."
I didn't feel that.
Your mind expands when you talk to different people, and we all can agree on that. If I just talk to Ty Pro and that's all I talked to, and I was a man just like Ty Pro, me and Ty Pro would just understand each other. Me and Ty Pro wouldn't understand a man who is a doctor. But when you have friends that are doctors, gay, straight, funny, whatever, doctors, lawyers, in chief, you get a bigger perspective.
No, so this is what you don't understand. This is what you don't understand. Every man from the hobo up to the billionaire, they're all leaving a middle urinal in space. It's certain things that men just do, HQ. So it's not what you think.
That's the same thing. So
No, I get along very good with doctors. I got buddies that's lawyer doctors. I am a truck driver. Okay. Yes, I was a firefighter a long time ago, but I have friends that are uber rich, and I got friends that live in tunnels.
Okay, so
as men, it's certain things that we can all. It doesn't matter.
But here's the thing, Black America. If you met a person and you didn't know they were gay, and you didn't know and you find out later they were gay, but you had been friends with them, you wouldn't be friends with them. You wouldn't be that would bother you because they're gay.
Yes, no, well, yes, I would not talk to them anymore. Any kind of business or anything like that. I'm sorry. No, I
But
wouldn't.
you, even though gay people aren't all, running around like fairies, men would know, especially developing a friendship with that man. You would know. You would just know, because we men pay attention and observe the room and the people that we around, because that's the survival instinct. If Obama would have said, yeah, young boys need mentors of all different walks of life, that would have been more respected than him saying we need a gay mentor. Because what is a gay man gonna teach me that I specifically need a gay
Wait a minute,
mentor?
what was the
Because
difference?
hold
What was
on,
the
hold
difference?
on. I can't. The only thing a gay man can mentor me about is some gay stuff, because I know how I'm a truck driver, but I got great hygiene.
Wait a
I'm a
minute.
truck. Hold on. I'm a truck driver, but I'm a single black man. I keep my crib clean. I know how to clean my house. I know how to, what I'm saying? It might not look like a woman or a gay man living here. You know what I'm saying? I got my PlayStation, my TV. It's minimalist, you know what I mean? But I still am a hygienic, clean man. I never needed a gay mentor to teach me how to wash my ass and take care of my house. I had masculine men that was able to teach me that, and still go outside and box and fight, wrestle, and do construction. Before I was a truck driver, I did hard labor. I was loading the trucks before I was driving them. So
But
I
y'all make
didn't.
it sound like they shouldn't even be alive.
So what? No, but what is it that I need? My whole point with him, with that was the cherry on top for me, saying like has been an agenda against masculinity and to push the LGBTQ. Because why? What is a gay man gonna teach me? Because I have plenty of professors that I love. I went to college for a minute. I had professors in high school that
But
I
you
messed
make it sound as though somebody
with.
gay can't teach you nothing.
So look, though, you know who needed a gay mentor? The dude that was on the panel with all them S's in his mouth,
I'm
who was
saying,
defending
why
that.
why do you think
Because
somebody gay can't teach you nothing?
I never said that. I never said that. And I
So,
wouldn't, and he did have a point though, because if a man was teaching me something and he on a late night, he like to get ran through by the football team, I wouldn't know that, because he came off as a masculine man. He wasn't presenting that. I don't need to learn from a drag queen, a transgender, a gay person. I don't need that.
yeah,
I
but
just
if
need
you have a
masculinity in
teacher,
men.
but I'm saying if you have a teacher who's gay, what difference does it make whether they're gay? They're teaching you something. So you're telling me they can't teach you nothing, even though they a teacher and they're a professor, they can't teach you nothing?
I'm saying that as a man, we don't need more gay mentors. We need more masculine mentors. Whatever they do when they in the bedroom is on them. But if you are
HQ is
a
conflating
openly, if
things.
you're
Well,
an
my
openly
question is
gay
why?
man, if you're an openly gay man, I don't need you as a mentor, because that is not your whole
What?
ideology of being a man is different than your whole
Yeah, but
protect,
I'm not
provide,
teaching you.
resource,
But I'm not
produce,
teaching you to be gay.
reproduce.
I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you the law. I'm teaching you to be a doctor.
We
What does
don't.
having
We
being
we
gay
need
do
we
with that?
need with the attack on masculinity. We need masculine mentors. With all of these YNs going to jail and pulling guns, but can't take a punch. We need masculine mentors. We need leadership. We need providers, protectors. We need people who are stoic, people who are solution based. Those
So
are traits of a masculine man. If that man is a man first, we need man mentors. I don't say I'm a heterosexual man. I'm a man.
so
So
you
I
there's
don't
no
say I'm a
way.
heterosexual masculinity. I say I have
So you saying
masculinity.
there's nowhere in society that a homosexual man belongs?
I'm saying that homosexuality to the side. We need masculine mentors.
No. I'm asking you
Homosexuality,
about
it
homosexual men.
shouldn't
You're
even
saying they
be.
don't deserve to be in
If
society because they can't.
HQ, why are you putting words in my mouth trying to windmill? What is you
I'm
doing?
Bro,
asking you.
Go
let
ahead.
me answer it.
Go ahead. Please,
You saying
please.
a gay
Let
person can't teach you
let
nothing.
me let me answer it.
So if a gay
Let
person
me answer it.
can't teach you nothing, what can't the gay person, the other person in the comment section, the gay person can't teach you nothing. They shouldn't be teaching nothing. They shouldn't be talking to kids. They shouldn't be doing it. So what are you saying? That they don't belong in society?
So this is what I'm saying. I cook all the time, right, HQ? I cook. I've taught all my kids. I grew up in a kitchen though. I have a family restaurant, right?
Right.
So if I'm cooking something for you, you're going to learn to cook it with my influence, right? If I bake you a creme brulee, you know what I mean, or some kind of other pastry, you're going to get that, and it's going to have my influence. So no, as far as men, I wouldn't want my sons, any one of them, to have the influence of a man who was not a manly man.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm going to answer. So it's not that I'm saying they don't have any place in society. We are not
So
trying
what
to
would their
chase
place
them.
be in society then?
Say that again.
What would their place be in society then?
They they have their place in society. They have the best jobs. They have, you know, they all of the black women hang out with them. They have their place in society, but it shouldn't be around other men. It shouldn't be around
Yeah,
children.
they're men, and they have
They are not. Okay, I
so
know you
they
said you
belong.
don't like animals. I know you said you don't like animals, right? You don't like no dogs, no cats. If I had a crazy pit bull, you want to be around my crazy pit bull?
No, I'm afraid of dogs.
Okay, so that's what we think about. We don't like them. We don't want them around.
Oh,
It's not that we're scared of them. It's not that they're going to do anything to us. They don't have any. But yeah, hey, I got a cousin who's gay. I don't hang out with him. I don't call and check on
yeah,
him to
but
see if he's okay.
yeah, but he's not trying to flip you into being gay, right?
It doesn't matter. It does. I like ice cream. I don't like custard.
If
So
he's not trying to
I,
flip you into being gay, what difference does it make whether you?
I
When did
like
it
ice
matter to
cream.
Philo?
I don't like custard. I'll never eat custard. I just don't like it. You can't make me like it.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. But I gotta go because somebody knocking at my door, and SBC just started
Yeah.
midnight the night shift. I will talk to y'all later. I will have a show later on this evening once I get rid of these kids.
Good conversation, HQ. I appreciate you
Okay. I
watching the
appreciate it. I
Bye
video.
bye,
appreciate
honey.
it.
All right, salute to
And that
y'all.
damn Pan Africa, you listening to me, that Pan Africa, keep your ass off my stage if you don't know how to act. Keep your ass off my stage.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace,
Salute,
peace.
triple, salute, black.
I talk to y'all later. Thank you for showing up. Hit the like button coming in and out. Hit the like button. I see y'all later. You know it'll be later. I like the midnight thing. I like to do the midnight thing.